follow me down, head into the unknown, down the rabbit hole, where it stops no one knows. We're going down. We're going down. We're going down. We're going down. Do you dare to follow me down? Head into the unknown.
Hi, everybody. Oh, I had a thing that I wanted to share in the middle. I put the layout different so that I don't know what I was thinking. Mhm. There, much better. How is everybody? 31 people, yay! So I'm gonna give something a shot. Hey, Melissa, how's it going today? Tornado warning.
It's been a fun day. Are you on the right mic? Because you sound really low. I don't know if you sound low to everybody else or if I just need to turn mine up.
Um, should be, should be the right one. Is it really low?
I turned it up. I
I
may have
turned it
just
up. I
turned it
may have
down a
just
little
turned
too
it
low
down
for
a little too
myself.
low for myself.
Okay, good news, everybody. I managed to find my giveaway for the hoodies hanging on the door. So we're gonna do that first. But first, I'm gonna try to do something to um kickstart Streamlabs because I think I got her figured out. So just I'm gonna hit a button here, and if I disappear, Melissa's here. I will be right back, and then we'll do the draw for the hoodies. Okay. Hit the go live button. Okay. 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 Let me know if you see Streamlabs in the chat. I don't know if you will or not. Shit. Oh, no, never mind. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the draw for this for these hoodies. So if your name comes up, you have to reach out to me with your mailing address, okay? And okay. Okay. Where is it? It is right here. Giveaways. I'm gonna share the screen just to make it super fair. Share screen, this one. Put that up. Oh, I gotta take that off and then I can put that up. This is really small. I apologize, but it's better than what we had the other day. Couldn't even find the draw. So here we go. All I do is hit pick the winner. And you guys can see here, there's 24 of you that entered the raffle the other day. So I just hit the
Did you
button,
put my
pick
name in
winner.
there?
No. Did you hit the raffle thing? You
I
didn't get
think
in
so.
there. You didn't get into it. I've got Lucy, Cindy Sperry, Just the Facts Ma'am, Firehorse, Jessica Love, True Crime Housewife, TJ's mom, Cheryl, Patriot Girl, Lynn Hammock, Missy, Chicken Whisperer, Donna, Crystal, Lil Bet, Amy, Gracious 2, Darlene, Belinda Believes, Seawood, Curious, Curious as Hell, sorry, Matt is a Catter, a Canadian Girl, and Tina Midkiff. Those are the names that it logged. So let's do this and pick a winner. Gracious 2 has what? Oh, look, Streamlabs said that they want a hoodie. So why aren't my alerts? So is Gracious 2 in the house today? I will leave this poll so that if I don't hear from Gracious 2, I'll do another draw on the next one, on the next live, okay? And then the next one, Lynn Hammock. There you go, Lynn. And Streamlabs, either that or my chat is freezing. So, Lynn Hammock, you can reach out to me. And then if Gracious 2 does not get a hold of me today with their address, we're going to do one more for third place. Matt is Catter. All right. So there's that, you guys. So I'm going to give Gracious 2 to the end of the day to get me her address. Otherwise, Matt is Catter, mod extraordinaire. We'll get the hoodie. Thanks for entering, you guys. Sorry it took so long. The Streamlabs it looks really interesting. People use this instead of StreamYard. So I'm trying to learn, and it is quite a bit less expensive than StreamYard. So if I can figure it out, I think I might like it better because there's a lot of shit in here that you can do where Streamlab or StreamYard just isn't like that. So I think that that was good. That was good. That was good. So I wanted to just quickly address my live the other day. We started off the live by showing the Monsters of Sabotage video that had some information in it. Now, I don't recall at any point, nor does it sound like me to say something is fact when I just have no idea, especially when we're talking about the that channel specifically. But what happened is I think people mixed up the Monsters of Sabotage video with the information I got from Anita. I didn't that could have been my delivery, I don't know, but I did not intend for that to happen. I know where Lynn is from. It's all good. We're gonna figure it out. I'll get her the hoodie. Um anyways, the stuff that was on Monsters of Sabotage, I never claimed it to be fact. There's no way to prove anything in this case because we have so many people who lie and who hide, and other people that just won't talk, or the people that do talk behind the scenes, and only after they hear things, they want to straighten things out. They don't want to give information, right? But they expect you just to know everything or don't talk about certain things. It's hard to decide what you're going to cover and what you're not. So when you see something like that, that seems to be about Jack and Lily, and you want to share the information and let the viewers decide because we're all adults, we all have heads on our shoulders and reason and common sense, we can dig things up. We can look at things and we can talk about things and decide if it's believable or not, in my opinion. Now, the bit about Malaya having a baby between Jack and baby M, I don't know that to be a fact, and I'm pretty sure I said that. Like we don't know. How are we going to know? Because Malaya's never talked. So how are we going to vet that, right? But at the same time, now after I talked about it, now I'm getting information. I'm not comfortable sharing that information, but from what I'm hearing, it's a it's a manipulation of the truth. No, there wasn't a baby. And that's not fact. There wasn't a baby carried to term, is what I'm being told now. But you know what I mean? So it's a play on words. How am I expected to vet anything when there's so many people who either aren't talking, straight up hiding, or lying? So everything that any channel says, we all need to take it with a grain of salt. We need to talk about it like adults. Agree to disagree. If you don't agree with what I say, I don't agree with what Melissa says. We can agree to disagree, and that's perfectly okay. But just because I say something or any other YouTuber says something does not make it fact. In fact, I would go so far as to say anybody involved in this case, just because they've said something does not make it fact. And they've proven that over and over and over again. So who are we supposed to believe? I think that Anita, this lady, now after the backlash, she's still out there, she's still talking, she's still doing her thing, she's still, standing by her story, and she's brave. And but if she decides to and agrees to be interviewed by me for you all, I don't think that there's any reason for me not to believe her at this point. And the thing is, if you're going to come out and say, I'm this person and I was approved to babysit the baby, blah, blah, blah. If you're going to say that, that's stuff that can be proven very quickly by Malaya's side of the family. So maybe that'll help them, encourage them to talk, to tell us some truth for a change. So I don't want to drag Melissa into it, and I know she's got a difference of opinion than I do, and that's perfectly fine with me. I'm here to listen. But I didn't say hi to you guys today, and I feel terrible, but I was excited about Streamlabs and the hoodie. So um, go ahead. Go ahead for a minute, Melissa. You don't have to share your views on what I just said, but you go ahead and you talk. And Ron, I agree. I believe the police. We need to talk about the other stuff, but that's the only people you can actually believe for fact. To me, what are your thoughts?
Well, you and I, yes, we have difference of opinions, but that's what makes it great, right? We can respectfully agree to disagree. You think one thing, I may think something else, and it's not just this case, but there are other times where we're on the same page. So what I like is that you don't just, well, this is, bully people into trying to agree with you. And, part of being an adult is agreeing to disagree when we have them. And what's sad is you've got one side of the family not talking at all or having people speak for them. And we're not seeing certain things that we would like to see. And then you've got the other side, Daniel's side, where he's speaking all the time, but you can't trust a word he says. And then you've got the only person we can truly believe, in my opinion, and that's Belinda. And she's out there searching. So when I say nobody is speaking out for the kids, I do not include Belinda in that. But it saddens me that there are so many of us that are keeping Jack and Lily's name out there and begging for information and begging for their return or begging for them to be found. And you've got family members that could give two shits less.
Exactly. Exactly. I totally agree with that. Totally 100% agree with that. You and also Lori Green, I agree. It is definitely at the stage where you can't believe anything or anyone anymore. You can believe the RCMP, but they're not giving us any information. So w- what are we left to do? For me, for myself, I choose to listen to people who want to come forward and talk, who want to tell their, not their truth. That's not what I mean, but want to tell their perspective on certain situations or what they witnessed or what they heard or what they saw. I think that that is important that we do. And until I am given a reason not to believe the information that I'm given by this new person that's come forward, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt because the information that she is coming out with is easily proven false once she comes out with it. And all it would take, who, listen, if who's going to come out and say that this is who I am, this was my role in the whole situation, um, and if it's a lie, who's going to do that? If it's not true, do you know what I mean? Everything that she's going to say, hopefully, because I do know a lot of it already, and I just want it, I want it from her mouth to you all. But everything that she's going to say could be easily debunked by people who were also there, not by somebody who, you know, messages like a mad dog as soon as the live is over because they're upset about the information that came out. That's not debunking anything because they're all they've created this vacuum for themselves where they don't want you to talk about certain things, but they want to keep the kids' names out there, but they want to, you know, only talk about facts. Don't put out speculation. Stop adding to the lies. Well, how do I know what's a lie and what's not? That's for us to discuss. And if it's easily debunked, great. If not, I refuse to live in a vacuum. And if that means not reporting on Jack and Lily anymore, that's exactly what I'll do. I won't do it. So I will listen to Anita. I will give her the benefit of the doubt until I have a reason not to, because the information she's giving could give us insight on what Jack and Lily's life was like. And that's all I really want to say about it. Do you have anything you want to say about it?
No, I mean, just, you know, if you have a difference of opinion, and even if you don't, try to be nice and make sure to use "in my opinion," please.
Yeah, yeah. Whereas generally speaking, everything is in our opinion because none of us were there. None of us know what happened. None of us know what life was like for any of them at any given point. Um, so when when I say things, just know that I'm no different than any other YouTuber because people can look at you straight in your eye and lie. And most of them have been proven to be inconsistent at best all of the time. So I don't care who it is that's talking to me. It's always taken with a grain of salt, and I will give information the benefit of the doubt until I'm given a reason not to. And maybe that makes me naive. Don't care. Don't barely even want to hear it from anybody. If you don't want to believe it, don't believe it. It's all good. Having said all that, I realized, Melissa, that I had never played the interview from Angela McIver with Cheryl and Angeline. And so I want to play that today and just talk about some of the things that are said and some of the things that aren't said. And yeah, we'll see where the conversation takes us with that. So I have to remove this. Just a minute. Can't do that. I want to dox myself. And I think this might even be the extended one as well, which I really wanted to play originally, but we got sidetracked, so gonna play it now though. Make sure it's big enough. All right. Now I got to take this down. Sorry, I love narrating my every move for you guys. Did I do that? I did. Okay. This is confusing. Just a minute. do this, share this, turn my sound on, mute myself.
Wait, was this some of the stuff that you guys had been like washing when you got in, or?
We didn't get to this stuff because it just became too overwhelming. But
Okay.
this was some of Jack and Lily's belongings from Lansdowne.
Blankets, once cherished by 6-year-old Lily and 5-year-old Jack Sullivan, now reminders.
It was one of her favorite blankets.
Okay, yeah, it's got the cherries on it.
Yeah. Every blanket she had was her favorite, especially if it was pink.
Cheryl Robinson and Angeline Maloney Arsenault are both close with the children's mother. They've spent the last 9 months doing their best to offer support since Jack and Lily disappeared, a mystery that remains unsolved despite months of searches.
Happy kids. Very happy kids. Always excited. They love their mom. They love their grandmother. And they loved each other. They fought, but they loved each other.
What was Lily like?
Very girly. She got excited easily. Loved her dolls. She was just very outgoing and cutest little thing. Jack loves his dinosaurs. Loved to play with his toys. Jack was more quieter. He was on the quieter side.
The story of Jack and Lily Sullivan has captured international attention and continues to gain traction online, with true crime channels trying to make sense of the case. It all started on May 2nd, when both kids seemingly vanished. At their home in Lansdowne, Nova Scotia, early that morning, the children's mother, stepfather, and his mom all say they heard the kids playing as they dipped in and out of sleep. When they awoke to silence, they all ran outside, and at 10 o'clock, their mother called 911.
The 6-year-old is the girl, I believe, and she's wearing pink Oreo with blue dinosaur boots. So yeah, I think that's all we kind of have right now.
I just happened to scroll Facebook and I saw the post from the RCMP that Lily and Jack were missing. And we decided we would go over and help look for them.
My coworker at lunchtime, she brought it up and she started reading like the whole thing out loud. And when she said the two names, I was like, hold on, like, wait a minute. And I just grabbed my phone and called Malaya and I was like, are your kids missing? And she said yes. And she was very upset.
How would you describe the scene that day?
Chaotic. It was very chaotic. It was very stressful.
RCMP teams and hundreds of search and rescue volunteers descended on the property, presuming that Jack and Lily wandered into the nearby woods. But Robinson says right away, things didn't feel right.
We had asked for an Amber Alert a few hours after the kids had went missing, and we were told that it didn't meet the criteria because apparently you have to have like a suspect or reason to believe that they could have been abducted. So that was pretty disappointing.
The ground search and rescue people.
Staff Sergeant Rob McCammon is with the Nova Scotia RCMP Major Crime Unit.
We didn't have the necessary pre-qualifiers to issue an Amber Alert. However, we did issue vulnerable persons alerts related to the disappearance of Jack and Lily.
With little information from police, rumors have been swirling about potential suspects and whether their mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, or their stepfather, Daniel Martel, had anything to do with it. Both deny knowing what happened.
I wouldn't say anybody's a suspect. Again, we continue to gather information and whatever evidence that we are able to find, and we'll make our decisions based on that. But we are not in a position to really comment on suspects or anything like that at this time.
RCMP did charge Martel on January 29th with assault, sexual assault, and forcible confinement related to an adult complainant. He did not respond to our request for comment on the charges. But in early January, he sat down for an interview. At the time, Martel said he believed the RCMP did not consider him a suspect in the children's disappearance, pointing to the results of a polygraph test he took last spring.
All the questions were on death, right? So they concluded that by the end of it, I was truthful with all my all my answers. So I didn't have anything to do with the murder of Lily and Jack. And there was no questions on the disappearance or abduction or kidnapping or anything of that nature.
And so you mentioned that in the polygraph, they didn't ask you about the disappearance and whether you had anything to do with it. But I'm going to ask, did you have anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily?
No,
Did you kill them?
no.
For a year and a half, Martel and Brooks Murray lived together in this home with Jack, Lily, and their baby daughter. According to court documents, in the weeks before the children were reported missing, the couple had been fighting about money.
I don't really want to talk on that because I don't really want to talk on too much to do with Malaya. It's best that we don't.
Cheryl Robinson says the day the children went missing was the first time she saw where Brooks Murray and the children had been living. She was shocked.
Just the condition of the house. I mean, I know that not everybody has a fancy house, not everybody is rich, but there's things that you can do to improve your living conditions.
A lot of the speculation has been, why did Malaya and her family leave and not come back? Anything you'd like to say about why that decision was made?
I know that her behavior to a lot of people may seem odd, may seem different, and it may not be what a lot of people would do if their two kids were missing. But until you're in that situation, you really don't know how you would act.
For Martel, the online speculation has focused on his drug use. He admits he used meth and cocaine in the past, but says not now. In terms of the drug use, what would you like to share, just to clear the air?
I did not have any drugs. People thought I was doing drugs during the search. Absolutely not. I don't owe any drug dealers money. I don't owe anyone drugs. I'm not a drug dealer. I don't manufacture drugs.
8.5 square kilometers of dense, rugged terrain has been thoroughly searched with little evidence. The RCMP says it doesn't have reasonable grounds to believe it's criminal. The case remains an active investigation under the Missing Persons Act. At this point, do you think those children are still in the woods?
I think the chances are low. However, there's always that possibility that they may be in an area that just we haven't been able to find them. It does happen.
For me, it's just the fact that they're not treating it as a criminal investigation. I think that if they did, maybe they would make a lot more headway in like a faster time period.
Maloney Arsenault has taken the role of online detective in the group, constantly chasing new details and theories.
Kind of like a second job, maybe, in a way.
Why do you do it?
To try to find them and see if we can bring them home.
It's just hard.
Everyone close to the case has the same goal: to find Lily and Jack.
As far as I'm concerned, it's not going to be a cold case. This is a case that needs to be solved. So we will pursue every avenue available to us to ascertain what happened with Jack and Lily.
So, just what I thought. I wanted to rewatch it. I haven't watched it for quite some time. I wanted to rewatch it because, um, there was some things said and some things that I questioned. Overall, I thought, it was good that they spoke out. Took 9 months to do so, but it was good. Hey, Corbin, and everybody else. I'm sorry I didn't say hi today. None of us were there. Why would family members and friends all want to speak out in an open investigation? Well, 9 months in, I think it's fair to say that there was enough pressure for certain people not speaking out. I think that could be, you know, why Angeline and Cheryl decided to speak out. I don't have any ill will for family wanting to speak out. Why wouldn't they? If they think the kids are missing and they're still looking for the kids, why wouldn't family speak out? Most we've gone through this before. Most families with missing children want their kids' faces out there and they want to be talking about the kids. And why I don't agree with that. I've said it from early on, when family members get involved in social media channels, shit hits the fan. You're not wrong, but it depends on how they're involved. And I mean, look at Darius McDougal. His family is very active on Facebook. They're always sharing information. There's no new information, but they're always sharing his pictures and asking people to share posts and missing persons posters. And, you know, they're not doing YouTube or anything like that right now, but his family is out there right now because minus 39, I shit you not, here today, minus 39. Alberta is damn cold. You cannot go out and search for a missing boy in minus 39, minus 25. I don't even care if it's minus 25, minus 15. It's too cold, snow covered, but they're still searching. They're still online. They're still sharing. They're looking for Darius. This family is not looking for Jack and Lily. And I know that Cheryl says that they're doing private searches and private things. Like, how is keeping it private going to help the public help you find your kids? I don't understand that. They both seem to know a lot for not seeing Malaya and the kids for 2 years. I think that Angeline was probably the friend that stayed in contact with Malaya over those 2 years, but I question that also, because maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that Shelby was Malaya's friend. Cheryl is Shelby's sister. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know if they spent a lot of time. I'm not sure, Corbin. It was in one live stream and you had to do the exclamation raffle, and then your name automatically went into Streamlabs. I don't know. I mean, this one went pretty well. I can order more hoodies and do more giveaways down the road. Here, congrats on your hoodie. Pretty vague description, yes. And people were saying, I remember people were talking about them referring to the kids in the past tense, but I think that can be chalked up to the kids just aren't there. So, you know what I mean? Like, they're not insinuating that the kids aren't alive. They're insinuating that the kids aren't there. You know, that kind of what I 9 months to speak about the kids. Yeah. You mean Cheryl knows what Malaya told her? That's all any of them know, is what Daniel, Janie, and Malaya, the three people that were on the property that day, told them. That's it. Even the RCMP. And I mean, obviously they have more because they investigate and they have the means to get to the bottom of certain leads and information. But you're right. Oh, me too. They're out there somewhere. How would they know kids went out to play or got out, but not know what they wore, but they took off, drifting in and out of sleep? Fair point. But I remember talking about this quite a bit at the very beginning, that if Janie is to be believed, like her whole story that morning, then she would have told Daniel and Malaya that she heard the kids outside. They were playing outside. Even though, you know, that wasn't part of Janie's voice clips, that wasn't part of Janie's interview. She never said that. So I'm assuming that. She says she grabbed her phone and called Malaya. I thought rumor was that Malaya had blocked all of her friends, or Daniel had. Yeah, but I think that there was one friend, and I can't remember where we heard. Do you remember where we heard that from, Melissa? That there was one friend that Malaya stayed in contact with through the years?
No, I don't remember where we heard that.
I wonder if it was Malaya told Sunny and that one conversation. I can't remember. I'll see if I can dig it up, but I don't remember. Janie told them she heard them out playing. They only heard them playing in the house. Yeah. Two wrongs don't make a right. I disagree. Thanks for being here, Ron Meeg. The murder of Lily and Jack. Let's talk about that a little bit. What are your thoughts on not the polygraph test itself, but the questions Daniel claims they asked him in the polygraph and nothing about the disappearance? It's what could that mean from a law enforcement perspective?
Well, I definitely don't think law enforcement believes them to be alive if they're asking about the unaliving of them. But what I don't understand is why there were not questions about, did you cause the disappearance, or was there a fight that night, or something of that nature. And it was just on the unaliving that bothers me.
It- Would it? I don't know. It almost leads me to believe that the polygraph test at that point might have been just like a formality because they didn't ask, according to Daniel, they didn't ask any of those questions. It's bizarre to me. I don't know. Two Wongs don't make a right either. Janie heard them. The other two must have been in a coma. Don't, and that's what I'm saying. Their bedroom window was right there too. I don't know. I don't believe it. Sorry, not sorry. I don't believe it for not for a second. Not if she was up at 8:28 calling her mom. Ron, thank you so much. Thank you. I pushed my live stream off. I noticed that Shenanigans had gone live right around the same time I had planned to originally, so I pushed mine off. Yet the kids would not go in the woods, only with Daniel and his mom, is what they said. That's what they said. Oh, look, Streamlabs, Melissa. That's exciting. But I didn't get the alert for Ron's super chat. I don't understand Streamlabs, you guys.
Yeah, you'll have
Unless
to change where it has my link to. It's not in there, right?
it's just your channel name. It's not a link. It's just your channel name.
Oh, okay.
Which reminds me, you guys, she's 8 subs away from 500. If you haven't subbed up to Melissa, please, please, it's free to do. You can turn off the notifications if you don't want to be alerted every time she goes live, which isn't that often, but it's only 8 away. Can we please get her to 500? That would be great. We can listen to those surrounding the family and use, in my opinion, speculation, and allegedly somewhere in there is the truth. Possibly, but somewhere I think it's fair to say that a lot of the information that we've been given by the people that talk the most is made up. I don't know. I don't know what to think or what to believe. So I'm willing to listen to people that haven't lied to me yet that I know of. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm naive. I don't know. There has to be some truth somewhere. I agree, Seawood. It, it's, but where? Where are the kids? They're out there somewhere. Both guilty families are going to be biased. And that breaks my heart and makes me so angry at the same time. Some behaviors make you pause and rethink some of your theories. Absolutely. How do kids just disappear out of nowhere with no trace of them? I was listening to a few voice clips this morning again, and Janie had said she was just raking some gravel, and that's where they found the only boot print. How can that be the only evidence that the kids were outside? You know what I mean? There are some reasons why people don't speak out. However, it's not something I would like to speak about publicly. It's not my place to suggest those kinds of things. I will email you about it. If it's about why Malaya hasn't spoke out, her friends just did a good job explaining that it's just not her way. She's soft-spoken. She's searching for her children privately. So I don't know what you could say that would, contradict what her friends just told us.
But is she? She's not made a single post on Facebook or anywhere else that I know of.
Yeah, that absolutely takes no voice box whatsoever to look for your children on social media. Like I said, Darius's family, multiple members of his family, multiple times of day, in multiple different groups, share his missing persons poster, share information, share links to where to report tips. They share everything all day, every day. Multiple members of both sides of this boy's family are searching for Darius. They're searching for him. We're not seeing it. I didn't see anywhere in that video, in that interview, any of them ask for help to keep the kids' faces out there, share information with the RCMP, nothing. Last time I heard that was from Daniel. What does that tell you? Sorry, not sorry. We have Haley saying one thing, then two friends saying different. And who is the one person who spoke, who went on a live stream? I'm not talking about just live streams here, but we've got Logan. She went on Hidden in the Fog early on. She spoke. I know she still answers certain things in Facebook groups or in comment sections, whatever. We had Daniel, who was like Sunny said, whack-a-mole. You never knew when he was going to pop up, but you knew if his name was mentioned, he was watching. Probably still is. And then Haley joined Sunny on a live stream a few weeks back. Who else? Belinda? I don't know. That's it. You're new here and you're loving it here. I'm glad that you're here. Kaylee the Fiend of that. Meet Harley. I don't know what he wants. It is what time is it? Is it 10 to 6? Shit. Late start means I'm gonna have to go feed him soon. But welcome in. Do you know if Cindy is actually suing CPS? I don't know. Cindy's not talking, so I don't know. And that's another thing too. Do you guys want to re-listen to Wade? What Wade had to say in Tint's video? I don't know. Might be worth it. What if Lily and Jack just decided to run away and they're out there in a spot where they took shelter and they've just not been found yet? What if? Pretty good hiding spot for all those searchers and drones and helicopters and dogs, and that's a hell of a hiding spot. But after hearing that Lily told her teacher that my mom hates me, my mom hates my brother, my stepdad hates me, my stepdad hates my brother, don't make me go home, maybe they did run away. Maybe they ran away up to the road and somebody picked them up. Like, I don't know. Maybe. I hope they find these two because it's just sad how they just vanished out of nowhere and the stepfather is making it about himself mainly. I remember hearing that. It may have been Haley. Can anyone remember if Wade said Malaya told them about the abuse? Hmm. No, but we should re-listen. We should re-listen. Melissa, are you able to go into Tint's YouTube channel and see if that video is still there? I my audio on my live streams is shitty. Even when I didn't think it was bad for you guys when I played stuff, but I watched something back yesterday and I was like, wow, it's almost as bad for you guys as it is for me. So if Melissa can find that, maybe we can listen to it.
Yeah, I opened up
Why was
the
the woods?
document. And I can find it through there a whole lot faster. So let me see if I can't find that real quick for you.
Perfect. Why was the kids why was the woods the focal point? The kids, if they wandered off, they could have went down the road or across the road. I'm just baffled, and RCMP should have stopped anyone from entering the home. I've been saying that for a long time, and people come back at me saying, well, it was only they were assumed to have wandered off into the woods. So in a wandered off scenario, the police wouldn't even like the RCMP family friend who doesn't follow this case is from Alberta, obviously. He said that they probably wouldn't tape off the scene. They probably wouldn't control the scene the same as they would as if a crime had taken place. However, I would question that. How would they know? Like, how would they know? We know Daniel had her passwords. Maybe Malaya's blaming. Hi, little black bear. Just ruling it out. And hey, Charmaine, AJ Mods chat. Thanks for being here. Heard it. I heard it, Angeline. Okay, I see ya. Angeline is. I heard that too, but I don't remember where I heard it from. And again, I don't know who to believe. Thanks for posting that, Sailor. Thank you. Go sub up to Melissa, guys. Belinda is the only truthful person in the families. Maybe the kids never made it home the night before. Maybe. How would we know? And further that, how does the RCMP know? So, and I mean, I'm not even going to assume. I will guarantee you they know way more than we do. He did, but he made a lot of really crazy assumptions or accusations about what was going on in that house. Who? Oh, Wade. Wade? Wade. She had a YouTube channel. That doesn't seem shy to me, but she was much, much younger, and life experiences change us, and it can even change our personalities. It molds our self-esteem. You know, when I was 14, 15, when I was 25, not a hope in hell would I sit in front of a camera and talk to 121 people. Not a chance. I mean, life changes you. Sometimes for the better, sometimes not so much. Sometimes people are found in an area that has been previously searched. Quite often, actually, Miss Mac. It's difficult land to search. They may be out there, but just haven't been found yet. Yeah, absolutely. It's possible. Anything is possible. But they are out there somewhere. I don't believe for 1 second Malaya is searching. Not if she's doing it privately. You know, there's no reason to do it privately. It doesn't take any self-esteem to share a missing persons poster. And if you're only sharing it to your friends list, useless. Useless. Her silence speaks volumes. It absolutely does. Saying she has been home every day conflicts with some rumors I've heard as well. Right. And also the fact, or I can't say the fact, but the information now that she has her supervised visits at her home, but Cheryl said that she spends most of the time at Cheryl's house. So then the visitations are at Cheryl's house? Or like I don't know. I don't know. It's conflicting information. It absolutely is. You're 100% right. Kelly, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Or with Melissa, sorry. Linda? Malaya is soft-spoken, not shy. Like I said, doesn't take even an ounce of your voice box to share. Just if Malaya or Cheryl or if any of you are watching, Google Darius McDougall, look him up on Facebook, and then take some pointers from his family. They do media interviews once in a blue moon, but they're not on YouTube, but they're still searching desperately for their missing son, brother, cousin. They're searching for that boy. And they're not using their voices, they're using their social media. Angelina's always, I don't know what that word is supposed to be, active in the Facebook chats. Durwood? What about him? Is she like I don't go on Facebook. I don't go on Facebook chats. That's why I miss a lot of the drama, a lot of the bullshit. And that's why if I report on something and you guys have seen it in Facebook and you know, it's been drama on Facebook and I talk about it anyway, I'll guarantee you I didn't see it on Facebook. Guarantee you. No, they did not ask for help bringing these babies back. It was all about protecting Malaya's behavior. Yeah. And this is like your part 2 from the other night. Let's talk about Malaya's behavior because that should give us some insight about what life was like for Jack and Lily. And maybe it'll give us some ideas about what could have happened to them, you know, without throwing, you know, accusations on hurting the children, physically hurting the children. What was their life like? That's what I'm interested in at this point. If I can't find them, if we can't figure it out, what happened to them, if we can't get the truth about that, then maybe we can get the truth about what their life was probably like. I don't know. Watched your podcast from the other night showing clips from another channel. That was some wild shit, but they seem to have inside knowledge. All to be taken with a grain of salt. Because you know as well as I do that the leaks that happen in, you know, American cases and other cases from outside of Canada, they have leaks. Law enforcement will leak things, and I don't believe that that happens here. Not on the same scale. So any insider information is still certain people talking to people who are maybe close in some way to an investigation or to a family. So that everything has to be taken with a grain of salt unless it comes directly from the RCMP. But was it meaningful? Did he know? He didn't know the kids. Malaya said she wouldn't know him if she tripped over him. It's not the same thing. But if you look at Anita's position, and she would have had to have spent time with Malaya and know what Malaya's um I guess parenting skills were like, even in such stressful situations. I think there's information there to be gleaned from what she has to say. Maybe speculation, but it's something. I love him too. Time is it? Hmm. Hmm. In my opinion, that yard, the porch, and all over should have had kid prints everywhere. Yeah. If they lived and played there all the time, yeah. It's bizarre. Durwood told Haley to keep her mouth shut on an early YouTube stream. Stalking by proxy observed. Does that not suggest more behind the scenes? Yeah, but I'll reiterate here, my opinion is that Haley doesn't have the kids, and for the longest time, Durwood thought she did. So Durwood is still as misguided as he's ever been. Was Tint's meeting with Wade set up? I don't know. It didn't seem like it. I don't think Wade knew that he was being recorded, although it is interesting to me that Wade wasn't kicked to the curb after that went public. You know what I mean? Cindy doesn't seem the type to put up with a lot of shit. Cindy might as well had a brown bag over her head in the interview, ashamed to show her face. See, here's what I think, and this is just my opinion. If you're a nurse and if you're attending to patients and your face comes on the 6 o'clock news, you would have to explain yourself to every single person that watched the news that night. I'm not trying to excuse it or whatever, but that's just how I thought about it. I understand why you wouldn't want your face on the news. However, you wouldn't keep me away from the camera if my grandkids were missing. And I can say without a doubt, things wouldn't have gone that far if I was aware of abuse going on with my grandchildren. You're in a parking lot, drive safely. Who said Belinda wasn't trustworthy? That's interesting. Why do you say that? Considering the running away theory as well, you have to. Only Belinda and Haley are trustworthy. What if the car the neighbor heard was Malaya taking the kids to meet up with someone to pass Lily and Jack over to someone she trusted? Okay, but why? Why, Kember? And why has it gone on this long? When Danielle doesn't have any legal right to the kids, all she would have had to do was speak up, not call 911 that morning. But even if she did, because Daniel forced her, but remember, Daniel wasn't right there. He was off in the woods. Perfect opportunity. She had Meadow on her hip. But baby in the car and drive away. You know what I mean? He ran up. He was out in the woods checking the forts. She had opportunity. I don't buy it. I don't. Sorry, I don't buy it. Her grandmother said Malaya told her. I also wonder if someone hit them with their car on the road, then drove off with them, removing any evidence. It was raining, so that could have washed away any evidence. Again, that's possible. That did happen in the States with I think it was a FedEx driver. He backed into a little girl and he was scared of losing his job, so he loaded the little girl in his van and took her down the road and, ended her because he hit her with his vehicle and was scared of getting caught. Insanity. Hey, Belinda and Autumn and everybody else. Thanks for coming here. Hey, picked a bub. The family said they would never cross the road. But the family also said that they didn't like to be cold and wet, but it was cold and wet that morning. Janie said that the kids didn't like to go in the woods. I mean, the family said a lot. Some of the rhetoric has bothered me about her treatment from Daniel. They weren't in contact until after the kids went missing. Is the alleged abuse on the kids been legally confirmed, or who started it? So the alleged abuse on the kids. I think that started with the picture found of Jack and the claims that CPS was involved. And then from there, um, it's a big snowball. And it started quite small and then grew. But I think the tipping point for it for us was when Malaya talked to Sunny and said Daniel would never hurt the kids, blah, blah, blah. And then in the same conversation, a few minutes later, she said, well, he held me down and took my phone, wouldn't let me call my mom. He would pick on Jack and sometimes Lily. That, I think, pushed that, the pictures of Jack with the black eyes, I think that pushed that into overdrive. And then the speculation about CPS, and I really don't know when any of that was confirmed that CPS was called in December of 2024. And I couldn't tell you to this day who confirmed that.
Daniel.
Other than Daniel saying that, oh, because of behavioral issues or whatever. You're right. Was there anything else? Do you remember?
As far as the abuse, I mean, we have photos of it. We have rumors of CPS. Daniel stated CPS had been there. So, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious and doesn't take a whole lot of common sense to, but the fact that we have pictures and I can pull them up quickly of abuse. I mean, it is what it is, but you let me know when you want me to talk because I got all kinds of stuff to say about that video you played.
Yeah, no, you go ahead. You go ahead. Were you able to find that tint video?
Yeah,
The
I
Wade
sent
video?
it to.
Well, you're co-host. You can bring it up and play it, but you talk first. You do your thing first. You go ahead.
Okay, so something I noticed is they said that Malaya was upset, but that's not the story that we got from Belinda. She didn't seem upset. She was monotone. Belinda attributed it to possibly being in shock. Well, if you're in shock, you're not also upset. Like, she wasn't showing any signs of being upset, in my opinion. In that video, she wasn't crying. In the one interview she had, she wasn't crying. She wasn't begging for help. She was just like, yep, they're missing. We heard them. And well, the next thing you know, they're just gone. It was just her tone, the way she did it. So I do not believe that Malaya was as upset, in quotation marks, as they were saying.
Melissa, I'm going to go feed Harley while you're talking, okay? I'll be right back.
Okay. So then the second thing I wanted to point out, everybody has said, well, how does Belinda know this or that? She hadn't been in their life for 2 years. Well, neither had Cheryl, or Haley. And Cheryl even said that when the kids went missing, that was the first time she's seen that house. But if I remember correctly, they've lived there for 3 years, 2 years, something like that. So how in tune are you with your friend that you didn't even know where she was living or had been there? You obviously weren't very close. And then they said private things is what she was doing. But if you think back to Sebastian's case, you had Christopher Proudfoot say, well, we're doing things privately. We're searching privately. Well, just take a line out of Chris Proudfoot's playbook there, because it doesn't take much to post a picture. And the only posts I've seen, given she's got her Facebook locked down, but the only thing I've seen is where she pushed on the first day for an Amber Alert. It doesn't seem to me that the family, besides Belinda and Chelsea and that side, they're not actively saying, bring the babies back or anything like that. They're just like, yep, they're missing. We'll do an interview, but we won't show our face, or we'll do an interview and we'll try to justify Malaya's actions. That bugs me. And when the kids went missing and Janie came out of the trailer and she said, what's wrong? Malaya says, well, Jack and Lily are missing. She says, well, how long? 20 minutes. It wasn't well, they couldn't have gone far. I just heard them. It wasn't anything of that nature. It was almost like, oh, how long this time? So, I mean, just those things bug me. So, I'm not going to, let's see. I don't know where Char left off in chat. Hold on. Let me scroll up here. Belinda said she didn't come off as shy in her interview. No, she didn't. But she didn't come off as necessarily worried, in my opinion, either. Once you're lost in the woods, there is no easy route. Well, true, but when they searched for the kids, they had infrared, right? They had helicopters and drones and hundreds of searchers just in that initial law enforcement search. And then you had Please Bring Me Home come in and search. So I really don't feel like they're in the woods just lost. I really don't. I think they would have been found if they were truly walked off and in the woods. Wasn't too shy at the beach or dating. If true, a bit judgmental, because people do handle trauma differently. They do. But would you just sit back and be like, yeah, whatever? If it was your kid, would you have that same tone as she did? I don't think you would. I know I didn't. I believe there's more adults than children now. I must have missed what that was about. Belinda says, with all the boots on the ground out there, I'm sure she would have been seen. Exactly. And you've got Daniel saying he has never searched where the boot print was found, and he said that on DT. Well, why not? If you truly feel that is Jack and Lily's boot print, why would you not go search that area? Just doesn't add up or make sense. Exactly. There would be a lot of evidence, in my opinion, Kelly. I agree where Miss Max said maybe they were hit with a car and put in the vehicle and drove off. Blood is not easy to wash away. So I just don't, I can appreciate that opinion, but I don't think it's plausible, I guess is the way to put it. Bonnie says, I agree with you, Belinda. I don't for 1 minute think she's shy. No. I think she's naive, but I don't think that she's quote unquote shy. But again, even if she was shy, let's just give her that. She's shy. You don't have to deal with people. You don't have to talk to people. You don't have to go out and do anything. And it takes less than 5 seconds to put up a picture of your missing children on your Facebook. I'm not saying she's got to talk to YouTubers, but I mean, how hard is it just to put a picture up and say, please bring my babies home, or still praying for my baby's safe return? Or it takes, I'll give her 10 seconds. If you can't take 10 seconds, even if you're doing it while you're on the pot to shit, it doesn't take that long. Popping in to say hello, and I will be watching replay in the morning. All right, Countryside Wildflowers. Thank you for being here. Lori says, I still don't believe the kids were buried. Too much work involved. I can somewhat agree with that. Yes. And if it was raining, it would be a lot of work, and disturbed ground would stick out like a sore thumb. Yes, especially to all the searchers who are trained to look for disturbed ground and other things. So I agree there. We truly don't know when the kids were gone or the time frame since town. I don't think Jack would have went that far being smaller, nor Lily leaving him behind. Exactly. And you had the one interview that Janie did, and she said she had to practically drag Jack into the woods or carry him. And it was later, the word drag was later taken out of the interview, and it was just carry him through the woods. So I don't see that he would walk off on his own. Exactly, Lori. The helicopter covered a lot of ground. Malaya was having a baby every 18 months, so he is not shy all the time. Well, I don't know that we have proof that Malaya had a baby every 18 months. Hi, Miss Bell. I am doing good. I'm finally on the upswing here from being sick. Does that boy have special needs? Jack? They
Was it,
said he.
are they talking about Darius, I think, maybe?
Oh, maybe. I don't know about Darius. I mean, Jack, they said he was possible autism, but as far as I know, Darius doesn't, and neither does Jack. Charmaine would know more about that than I do.
Darius he is diagnosed autistic. But I mean, he wasn't he was verbal, he was active. I say was, I shouldn't do that, but diagnosed autistic.
So I'm just trying to catch up in chat. Why don't you take over and I will do the I'll upload tense thing here.
Okay. I don't know where she left off. Saw that one. Oh, there you go. Okay. Is it definitely true that supervised visits with Meadow have been stopped? So this is what I was able to find out. As with the baby between Jack and baby M, possibly just being a baby that was not carried to term, a manipulation of words. This could be the same thing on that Monsters of Sabotage video, which I never claimed that information to be fact. It had on there that visitation with baby M and the exes on Daniel and on Malaya. Their visit, I believe it was last week, was canceled due to weather. So that could have been a play on words. Are they canceled for any other reason? I don't know. I don't know. But I did tell you all at the end of the stream that I was getting bombarded with messages that Malaya did not lose her visitation, and that I can't remember if I said it or not, but baby M is taken to Malaya's house for her visitation. Daniel, I have no idea. Not a clue. But apparently, and from my understanding, Daniel did confirm that their visitation was canceled due to the weather. So take that for what it is. I started watching when it was just Lily and Jack, and then I got into all kinds of them. Not sure. Grain of salt, yes, Charmaine, but she stands by what she says. Anita, like I said, I'm all ears and I'm willing to listen, and I don't think that somebody would come out and claim to be who she is and be lying, because it's easily proven if she's lying. So I believe her. I'm sorry, I believe her. And could she be possibly exaggerating, misremembering, perceiving things for something that they're not? Of course. but it's information, and I think, in my opinion, she's worth listening to. There's no reason for us to give her less credibility than we give the family and the friends of the family. No reason whatsoever. It would be silly of us to do that, and ignorant for people to ask us to do that. Lots of kids are shy and quiet at 4 and 6. When young don't mean they're special needs. Right. Especially if they're absent from school a lot, they're not as socialized, or if they're constantly getting in trouble. Um, it definitely affects their ability to, I don't know how you even want to put it, interact or catch up with the other kids. Let's just use Malia's words, shall we? The parents said they thought they had autism, possible autism. And then allegedly the first thing Malia said when Cindy got there, see, Mom, I told you they had autism. I don't know. Gracious 2, you want a hoodie. You need to reach out to me with your mailing address if you still want the hoodie. If you don't, we did a third place runner up. If you don't want the hoodie, it will go to Matt as a catter, one of my mods. So totally up to you, but your name was drawn first. You heard that Durwood asked Tint to talk to Wade? I believe that it's possible that Durwood would have given Tint the tip to go and talk to Wade. I mean, I didn't hear that, but that doesn't mean anything. Totally possible. I think people would recognize the name too. I think Cindy is a CCA, continuing care assistant, not a nurse. It's an education thing. Oh, okay. Yeah, no idea. Hey, Dodie. Why would small children run away unless the kids were in danger? And like I said, I didn't believe that. I didn't give it much thought because of their ages. However, if it was bad enough at home, then Lily actually said that to her teacher. Anything's possible.
Hey, Shar.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to real quick here. Oh, let me find it. That one right there. So even if she's a CCA and not a nurse, now in the US, I don't know how it is in Canada. I assume that nurses and healthcare workers are mandated reporters as well. As you know, in the US, if you're in EMS, police, fire, you work at a hospital, in healthcare in some form, we're all required to report. We're all mandated reporters. I believe I'm still technically a mandated reporter, but I'm not for sure. But the point of it is, whether she's a nurse or not, she's seen the kids on video chat numerous times. I'm not saying just the day before, numerous times. And you cannot tell me that she did not see black eyes and the bruises that we have picture proof of.
May I
If she
just
talked to
interject
them
really
as much.
quickly? I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Karen is speaking on my comment that the reason why Cindy didn't show her face on the interview, if she was having to attend to patients who would just watch the 6 o'clock news and having to explain to every patient, that could be what Karen was commenting on. I'm not sure, but I just wanted to point that out. It's possible.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I agree that may be what she's talking about, but I just wanted to address the mandated reporters, because would she not, even if she's a CCA, because I'm not from Canada, but in the United States, CNAs are even required, teachers, doctors, all that. So even if she's a CCA, would that be like the United States CNA, certified nursing assistant? Wouldn't they still be required to report abuse?
I absolutely believe so. I mean, still continuing, it's an education. Well, either way, if she's in healthcare or education, it's still, I don't know. I would assume so.
Okay, well, I just that was my question because I had seen it and I'm like, well, wouldn't she still be required under Canadian law? I wasn't sure, so I wanted to go back and ask that question when I seen you put it up on the screen.
I already answered that one. Because this case doesn't make sense. It is such a fucking mess. Anything is possible. Ontario is called a PSW, personal support worker. Okay. Not a nurse. Although others have called her a nurse, she isn't. Okay. I don't think any of them heard them Friday morning. I think they were gone Thursday night and they buried their bodies to get rid of the evidence. I just hope that we can find their bodies. And that's where we really lean on people like Damien and, the boots on the ground, the ones that aren't scared to get out there and search, which they have every intention of doing it. Lots of people out burning rubber on those back roads, but I'd think cameras would have shown something or cell phone pings. Cell phone pings are notoriously unreliable, but you're not wrong. Something has to have been picked up. And I would think by now they would have been able to at least corroborate their initial stories for their timeline on Wednesday and Thursday, even though neither one of them can really remember much about Thursday. You'd think that using the metadata on whatever cell phone usage they had, their Google Maps, even though you can edit it, like the RCMP have all kinds of software and abilities and programs and specialists that can they can dig pretty deep. Healthcare worker duty to report. Yeah. Is she a licensed practical nurse? Show me the certificate. I will believe it. It was stated by Globe and Mail asking me, and they talked to CPS. Thank you. That's about where the abuse came from. Scott Armstrong, which reminds me, I was asked to follow up with you about the letter template routes, since you did such a good job on the last call to action. Daniel also put out claims that Malaya was going to make this look bad on him. Yeah, and he said that there were pages and pages of abuse allegations that between Malaya and Cindy that they had given to CPS. He claims all are false. Who's in chat with Shar? I can't see who it is. Oh, this is Melissa. I thought I had the names. I'm sorry. I thought I had our names up. I did, but what the heck? They disappeared. Oh. Oh.
Here, I'll even come on camera for a second.
I don't know why it's not showing you guys. What's going on? Is it up now? I have no idea why it's not up. Now look what you made me do. That's an ugly color of red. Sorry, guys. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong. And oh, there's a big one. The teachers documented abuse, bruises, and not adequate clothing, and CPS confirmed they had been out. Is that Junette or June? Either way, thanks for your comment. Thanks for being here. There's a lot more. I should do what Vinny does. I should step back and scream into the microphone because it's all caps, but I won't do that because I understand why Little Black Bear does it. There's a lot more to that. I was a CCA down there. The schooling I took, we were not allowed to distribute meds, and they make you down there. I had refused it, was looking down upon finish that. To be continued. I felt like she was crashing from some kind of substance. Doing so. Looked down upon for doing so. Thank you, little black bear.
So, little black bear, then, if you were a CCA, are you a mandated reporter as a CCA? Can you answer that for sure?
Sorry, my color is off now. I changed it again and it just doesn't look the same. Gosh darn it.
It's a weird shade tonight.
I don't like it. Cheryl wasn't close with Malaya until after the kids went missing. It was her sister Shelby who was the close friend with her before Daniel. Thank you, Cindy B. I was in their life since the day they were born, except the last 18 months. Yes. Wouldn't it
And I
make more
think,
sense to have everyone together to search? In what way, Seawood? Go ahead, Melissa.
and that, something I was getting at with Belinda when she posted that everybody is, not everybody. I've heard several people say, well, Belinda wouldn't know, or how would Belinda know because she wasn't in their life? Well, neither was, Cheryl or Angeline or any of these other people. So I don't know. I'm just tired of people attacking Belinda, saying, well, she wouldn't know anything. She needs to step back. She's the only voice that Jack and Lily have that's truly searching and truly wants them home and found. And that's, in my opinion, people can disagree with it if they want, but you can't. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. So if you're saying, well, Cheryl knows all this and she's got the inside scoop because she's, friends, well, Belinda is family. And they were both out of their lives approximately the same amount of time if Cheryl wasn't out of the kids' lives more. So I don't know. It just bugs me that people attack Belinda when she's the only person, in my opinion, family wise. Yes, I know Chelsea, but like I've said to Belinda, when I say Belinda, I mean that side of the family that is searching and is keeping Jack and Lily's name out there and is doing what you would expect a family member who truly loves and cares for Jack and Lily to do. They're not out there spreading misinformation like Daniel. They're out there asking for the kids to be brought home and keeping their names out there, unlike Malaya. Belinda, when she talks about the kids, her face lights up. She always has positive things to say, unlike Janie. So I don't know. It just bugs me that people have been attacking Belinda. It just doesn't sit well with me. That's all.
I just realized that we are so far behind in chat. It's almost to the point where we have to give up on trying to catch up on every single comment. If you've said something that you really want highlighted, you guys, please say it again. I want to watch this tint thing.
So do I play that or do you play that?
You will play that. I can add it to the stage, but you will have to play it, which is fine because my sound sucks. But you play it. Everybody turn your volumes up so you can hear what Ron says, and then we'll have a discussion about that when the video's done.
So if I'm correct, this is the video that you were wanting with Wade talking. So this is 10. I did put, Charmaine, I did put the link in my chat, but I haven't put it in yours yet. Do you want me to?
You can do it. You can go ahead and play it. I'll throw the link in. Did you share the sound when you shared it? I can't hear it.
Fair enough, but now you're a horse thief and they hang horse thieves. Not to mention the horse goes back to its original owner because the horse is still his property. We need her and we need ability.
How's it going, my friend? Pretty good. Is that?
So I just want to make sure you guys can hear that now.
I can hear it.
Okay.
Horse trailer is yours. All right.
The man walks up to the farmer's farm. He knocks on the farmer's door and asks not to buy the horse, but the farm, and makes an offer.
Hello, everyone. Hope you all doing well, with time and opportunity to dig a little deeper. Anyways, it has been 2.5 months. There's still pretty much zero news about where are those children. No real updates from RCMP neither. Seems like we all going to a dead end, and this case may just going cold. But no, I won't let that happen. We all already heard from Darewood O'Grady for a while that he said Malhia and her family brought those kids to the Sypnikatic reservation. Somehow I just felt like he may be on the right path. So I decided to find Malhia or her family because I think she has the answer. And one day my friend sent me a link to a Kijiji ad from Malhia's mother, Cindy Murray, that she was selling her horse trailer. I knew that was a breakthrough for information, so I took that chance. What I did was I contacted her and arranged a meeting to buy the horse trailer. When I was there, I was greeted by her boyfriend first, then she also came out and took me to see the horses and the trailer. We came to an agreement that for me to buy it for $3,500, and I gave a $30 deposit to Cindy to hold for me for one day. And later I also bought a new shirt from her BF. He asked for $10, but I said I am gonna get the trailer tomorrow anyways, so can I just have it for free? And he was nice enough to say yes. After that, Cindy went back inside. The boyfriend is going to get rid of the hornet nest on the trailer. I went with him and offering him a hand. And we talked along the way, and I found a good timing to switch topic to Jack and Lily, and then here we go. He told me a lot of things we didn't know yet. Let's listen.
Yeah, you can take you. They'll take you. I had to go there this morning at my car. So you can go that way down that way. Like a new path. Like go all the way down. You'll come into Wallace. Yeah. You go that way. Okay. It's a 6 highway. 6 highway. Number 6 takes you right New Glasgow. New Glasgow. Or you go this way, it'll take you to Oxford and Amherst, Spring Hill. Yeah, it's funny. The last time I heard about New Glasgow is about like the 2 children was missing. Yeah. Yeah, it's happening in New Glasgow. Those are her grandkids. Are you kidding me? No. For real? I'm serious. Oh my fucking god. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's all good. We still never heard nothing yet. But those are Jack and Lily. And my granddaughter. Jack and Lily. Yeah, that's her name. My granddaughter. It's so sad, man. You might see some videos. Somebody stole my videos and put them on the thing. Yeah. That's Chanel and Kiana, my daughter. That lives in Highfield. And she plays with Jack and Lily all the time. She keeps asking about them. I said, you'll get to see them again sometime. I said, I don't know where they're at. I just said they're on vacation. Yeah. These 4. I saw them the whole time, man. It's everywhere. On the Facebook, on the line, the lies all on it. But I don't know how they got these videos. They put them on the thing. Yeah. And they asked. You know, like they said, do you have the kids? But the videos that they show, the video, the picking apples and that was last. That was 2 years ago. 2 years ago. 2023. Oh my god. August. And you see how small? Yeah. They showed the other one with the dog, and you see how big the dog was. Oh, you didn't see the dog. It's this big now, but in the thing is December 2024, this before Christmas, when they're sitting on the sofa. You wouldn't take no kid. How about the police? Update any news about the 2 kids? You never heard nothing. Never heard anything? They don't say too much. It's only that boy that still say the boy. The Daniel Markel, the stepfather. He's on meth. He's on meth. He sells meth. And he makes it. He don't like the kids. He beats the kids. He beats their daughter.
That's what I'm
But her
saying.
daughter might know more than she's saying. I said, your daughter's lying. You must know what happens. Only 3 people in the state.
Exactly.
We had to do polygraph and everything.
You did a polygraph too?
Yeah, because we used to drop the kids off
Okay.
over there.
So you and Cindy and
her mother, because her mother was in the host before, and some of her cousins, they had to do polygraph.
Is the mother living here right now or not?
No, she was. And she lives in. We took the mother because we found out that he's on drugs.
He's on meth, yeah.
And meth, and they beat her, so we took her over there. He was here, and then the CPS. The CPS went to their house in December, and they should have took the kids out of there. Like, look at the look of the house.
Yeah.
We had the locks on the door, and the boy beat her, this and that. But why'd she stay there? That's what I thought.
I saw the house of Daniel Martel and I saw this house, and I understand why she come here to move out the next day.
No, she could have went to her grandmother's in Bob Hill. You know how many times we tried to... She was at the grandmother's before they went there. Dan and her. He got 2 from a previous marriage. And those 2 that are missing are hers. Then they got the little girl together.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't like her kids at all. But she said they beat them.
Just crazy, man.
But she got a psychic that says they're still alive. Mm-hmm. But if they ain't, I still say it's a guy.
You know, it's so funny. I heard some people.
They are in the woods, but they're probably buried, like way over towards, like, say, Muscadal, but they're probably way the fuck over that.
The thing is by Daniel Martel or his family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't trust him, man.
No, they all look fucking crazy.
He lies all the time. Change his story all the time.
Yeah, how you know what they're wearing? You didn't see it.
Huh?
How would you know what they had on?
Exactly.
And you never saw them.
Yeah.
And she's lying too. I don't trust her.
They even say that you guys.
So
did
now,
it. You know what they're saying right now online? They say you guys did it.
No, I wouldn't.
They say that the mothers and the grandmothers hide those kids, for those kids in the woods somewhere like a reserve.
If I had to, no, she's getting the baby back. She went to the reserve, right? Because her grandmother lives over there.
Oh.
They had the baby there. Then the police came, took the baby. Because she took the baby to Chewy. She wasn't over.
So she's living in the reserve
right
now.
She's living in the reserve with the chief. That's her cousin.
Oh, the one in the.
I'm related to the chief too.
Suvanati.
Say it again. Yep, Suvanati. Yep.
Oh, that's where she's living right now.
Yep.
Oh, I see.
I don't know. This is these negative energy.
This man.
I never did like being around. I know them. But why would you stay there? This guy's beating your kid.
I know.
You get what I'm saying? Look at the dirty fucking house. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I may stay one night and I say,
I know, brother.
We can't live here. And 3 months ago, we told her, before that happened, I'll say 3 months before May, we had the U-Haul truck to move her back to her grandmother's house. She had a big house by Red Cliff and Bible Hill. The day before, no, I'm not moving.
Yeah.
Why do you want to stay here? There's rats in the walls.
Exactly. I've been to that place many times, man. I know that place is not suitable for humans.
You know.
I don't understand. Maybe he was.
Now she's trying to sue the CPS. The CPS should have took the kids out. This was in December. And plus, why would she stay there? If someone's beating my kids, I'm breaking their fucking hands.
Exactly. I was just saying that.
She should have told us anyway. She had told us he's on drugs or he's beating the kids. They would have been here. You get what I'm saying? We would have took the kids ourselves.
Yeah.
When the last time we seen them, they're over here Easter Monday.
Easter Monday.
That's the last time we saw them.
Daniel Martel.
Even dead. Yep. The one. You're gonna come here now.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, we're in the woods looking for stuff. Me, him, Jack, and his other stuff. Then he stayed in the woods for a whole hour by himself. I said, what the fuck are you guys doing? You crazy? He probably doing drugs in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes he used to come to our house in Bible Hill.
Yeah, it's
and he stayed outside all the time. His face was, so you see the skin is like yellowish green, and he's dying. I said, you gotta be on drugs or something.
Yeah.
And he's not, every time he dropped the kids off, he's never there. And he probably wasn't even working. He wasn't working no once a week.
Yeah, he just dropped a bombshell like 2 days ago. He said that black eyes on the Guthrie 2 days before.
I showed the detectives some of the pictures because the boy looked like he's hard to get along with her grandson. Like you tell him to do something, he won't listen. So he might have got mad and grabbed him by the neck and broke his neck. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? He might have. I don't know.
But two
He's
kids,
on
right?
missing.
When the kids, two kids at the same time.
Maybe the little girl witnessed it. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
You never know.
You never
But
know.
her second says.
That's for sure.
Now, if we had the kids, we'd be $150,000.
Exactly.
Plus, who's going to take grandkids?
Yeah, but you know what people say online?
Yeah.
It's like Daniel Martel and the Derwin. You know Derwin? Derwin? The guy?
Darren's her cousin.
Darren is a cousin, right?
Her cousin.
Why the cousin is against her? Against her?
He told him off the other day. He said, "You know more than you say." She told him, "Don't call back here. You're weirdos. You're crazy."
He's
She
the
blocked
one on the side of Martel. He's saying that the mother
And I
put
think
him to
his-
reserve.
No, they ain't gonna. His or Darren's wife, I think, is related to
Darren's wife is
Darren, not Darren. What's his name?
Darren.
Daniel.
Daniel.
He's related
Oh.
to Daniel's house.
Is
Same
that
as the CPS. He knew that we wrote the reserve. See, how do he know? So he's probably related to somebody in the CPS. And we got a friend that works for like another children's aid. And there's no file that she was there in December. We're suing them, and we're suing the people for harassment.
Oh, fuck man.
Yeah, there's no file that she was there. She just went down. Now the host like that, I'm checking to see if there's food in the fridge. I'm checking, see if there's locks on it.
It's just
said to use the lock. And Daniel's daughter, that she's like 8 or 9. Her name is Rain. She said, "Well, they locked him in the room."
Yeah, right.
You know, more than that. I didn't like her around. I never did like her.
Thank you so much, bro.
Yeah.
How about you going well, bro?
Yeah.
They just want us in my gun.
Yeah, we'll turn her down, bro.
So, like everyone. Golden Retriever is a 5-10 dog, man. I used to have one. I sold like
We took it down 2 years ago.
Really?
It was 14, and I don't know what happened. It kept throwing up, and then
14, I mean.
His eyes kept going like this. And he had to suffer all day Sunday because there's nothing open. They had to put him down Monday. Yeah, his name was Kavai. I had a good dog. You hear a car, somebody walking around, you go crazy.
Yeah, it's best to put him down. Yeah, so he's
Now, her dog, he's like his own blind. He's white. Shih Tzu, he's like, I think he's 10. Yeah. You go blind, you might as well get fucking with him.
The Jack and Lily play with dogs.
Yep.
They play all the time. They're not scared of dogs.
Her dog's crazy, and it don't. Every time as soon as we hear that door, he's in the window. She's lying. She said it didn't bark. I never really listened to what she said yet.
Imagine when my dog passed away from a heat stroke, I was crying out there.
And then they had a dad up at the grandmother's, and we always had the 2 dogs, and they played with the dogs all the time.
Yeah.
So they're trying to say they don't know nothing about dogs.
Imagine lost 2 kids. This must be tough. How's Maria doing right now?
So I just want to stop it real quick. Kelly said, "Later, guys. Love you all. See you next time I'm out. Great to see you all." Good night, Kelly. I understand if you can't watch it. Charmaine, do you want me to keep playing or?
Yeah. How long is it? Do you know?
Well,
So
the video itself is 38 minutes, but I don't know how long he's talking to Wade.
No, I mean, we don't have to watch the whole thing. We can watch it for a few more minutes. But yeah, Wade definitely did say that, Daniel beat the kids. But he also said that if he knew that if she had told them that he was abusing them or using drugs, the kids wouldn't have been there. So, I mean, it's hard to make heads or tails. I'll throw this link in the chat so that you guys can watch the whole thing. And I suggest listening to it with headphones just to get a clear audio on it. But let's continue watching just for a few more minutes, and then we'll talk about it, and we'll have to move on.
Okay. So before I do that, I wanted to reply to this message. I just happened to look over and see it a while ago. Karen says, "I wonder if that woman is Cindy. From what I understand, yes, it is Cindy. But you said, who carries a purse on their own property?" I don't know why she's carrying a purse, whether it was she just got home and hadn't been in the house to drop it off, didn't want to leave it in a vehicle. Maybe she had some sort of self-protection in the purse, or she didn't just want to walk around with money. I don't know. What do you think about that real quick, Sharp?
Sorry. Well, for me, if if I'm going to make a sale of something and I have to leave, I might want my purse with me. I don't think that they knew this man was going to offer them $30 as a down payment. Like I'm pretty sure that they were asking $3,000, so it's possible, and it looks more like it's like I carry one of those, um, I don't know what they are, not a shoulder bag, but I
Crossbody?
don't know. Crossbody, yes, I carry those. So this looks to me like maybe a semi backpack, so I would I would if I was expecting to get $3,000 from a sale of a trailer, I probably would take my purse with me. Just my opinion.
Yeah, and I agree with that. But I just wanted to respond to that real quick because I had happened to see it. Okay, here we go. I'll play some more.
When was last time you saw her?
Yesterday,
Yes.
they came up.
Yesterday she was here.
You know what she said. You know what I'm saying? She's. I know, it just seems like she's sad. I don't know.
She's not sad, right?
Yeah, it don't seem like it is. I told you, and I told her, I asked when Daniel got mad, what did he do? Did he hit them? Did he?
So she never cries in front of you, or she never show any
Yeah,
sadness?
she doesn't cry.
She doesn't
But
cry.
she must. I think she knows what happened, but she ain't saying that.
She know what
You
happened.
smoke?
Sure, yeah. I love it.
You get yours in the mailbox?
Oh, you
I
mean
don't
the
smoke. You get
is the
weed?
Malia leaving the reserve, or is another one super lucky?
She's staying there because they're giving her a house now.
Oh, she's getting a new house over there.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's where she's from, no, because her dad's from India.
oh, her
The
grandma.
kids ain't over there because I was over there.
Her grandma is in Sudanati.
Yep.
And she's with her grandma right now.
And I'm related. Trying to think if I'm related. She lives with the chief.
She lives with the chief.
Her name is Michelle McDonald Glasgow.
She's living with the chief right now.
She's living with her.
Wow.
She got like a house on the side of her, like an apartment.
Do you know what the house looks like?
I never wasn't at her. We're related to the chief somehow. But most of the,
How come she's living how come she's living with the chief right now? Is she related to the chief?
you get the daughter back, she ain't allowed to stay here. For
She's
some reason. Yeah. And plus, I told her she's looking for work and stuff. I said, you're looking for work? I said, who's babysitting? I ain't babysitting. You get what I'm saying? She's looking for work. You didn't want to take care of it. The little daughter, she's a year and a half.
Yeah.
So you take care. I know I ain't taking care of her. I'll watch her once in a while, but I ain't going to babysit. You better hire a babysitter or take the baby to your great grandmother and drop her out to like that.
Yeah.
I like thinking that. Plus, you don't say hi or nothing. Sometimes you say hi.
Sometimes
Then you get a happy Father's Day. I know. You get what I'm saying? You hang up in your mother too.
You mean Malia?
I call her, see how the kids is there. But she never. When we had the kids, they never really showed no signs. Like they were doing it. You could tell they were emotionally abused. But sometimes I'll reach by, like Lily's head, like she'll rub my head, and I go to touch her. Then she'll put her hands up. That means somebody slapped me.
Who, Malia?
Probably could be her, could be the other guy. Probably both of them.
Oh, you mean the kids? Oh, you mean the two kids? If you put hand close to the head, it's going to be like a voice.
Yeah, they're showing off, like rubbing her hair because he rubs
Which
Malia.
one? Malia, okay.
Jackie. Oh, he was full of anger. You see why?
Yeah.
And his other son, I think he gets him to beat Jack. His name's Arlo, and I think he's sick. He's thick, and violent.
I know
So
the
he probably gets him to beat Jack.
Justin, right? Another guy named Justin. Justin
The
is
brother.
the brother of Daniel Martel.
We never seen the brother ever before. He came to the host when they were missing. The mother, she never ever talked to us. She didn't say hi or fuck off. She came, like when they were missing, they come into the host. But we never seen them ever before that. And the father, he came to the host too. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the father kept going up in the woods and right beside us.
I know. Actually,
there's something fishy. Yeah. But where they were looking, they're probably like 10 miles in the fucking woods. If they ain't alive, they're buried way in the woods. Like towards like Muscatava, there's all these back roads. And there's a train tracks right there. So the train station probably used to go there. Like she heard.
That's why what people are saying. You saw the pictures of Daniel Martel and his father was on the ATV.
Yeah, they never had that before.
Everything
I never seen that ATV before.
Yeah,
before.
Everything in his place is kind of messy, but just the ATV is so fucking clean.
I wonder how far they search. Why don't they search the boat from here to the end here? This road goes way down, probably 3 miles.
But the thing is, why Malia, she saw something. She must saw something. The story was same as Daniel Martel.
Yeah.
Why she don't come out and say something right now?
Why you bring it around? You just fucking.
And I saw a picture the other day. Malia, she was on the beach with her friend.
Yeah,
you saw that picture?
Goes to the beach every day.
She go to the beach every day?
Yeah, just like it's nothing.
Do you think she actually has a kid?
No, she don't have them. Somebody got them or they killed them.
Have you ever been to her place in the Sudanaki? No. You never been there?
I was at the grandmother. I used to hang with her dad like a long time ago. But it was crazy on the reserve at night.
Yeah, you don't want to go there, man.
I can be a cop.
I can probably go there. People are gonna think I'm a native too. I'll be free.
My great grandmother was full Mexican.
Do you want to stop it here?
My friend.
Melissa? So this just kind of made me giggle a little bit. Paul wants to know, was this meeting set up just to talk about the kids or to buy a trailer? It was a ruse that Tint used. He claimed to be interested in purchasing this horse trailer, with the idea that he was going to, I don't know that he knew he was going to get to talk to Wade on his own, but he wanted an in to get onto the property from what I understand, he was looking for the kids. He thought the kids might have been there, but he took the opportunity to talk to Wade. So it was definitely a setup. Thank you, Kelly, for becoming a member. I appreciate you. Anyways, you guys, so I put the link in the chat for this video. I I think it's important, but it's important that everybody can hear it as well. So Seawood just went back and read the transcript, which you can do if you click on that link and go to this video. You can actually read the transcript and you can see everything that was said, but it's very interesting. I would like to move on. If if unless you have something more you want to say about this.
So, yes, it was a ruse. I understand that, so that he could ask questions. And I kind of chuckled because he put down a $30 deposit, right? So he basically paid them $30 for this quote unquote interview. If he didn't actually buy the trailer, I would be curious to know if he actually bought the trailer.
He did not buy the trailer, but he did get Wade to give him a t-shirt, some kind of a t-shirt. So he basically paid $30 for the t-shirt, and he made a public post or something apologizing to Wade for that, but he said, I got the t-shirt, you got $30, we'll call it even. It was really, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really want to be judgmental on the whole situation, but it's information that we got. So, yeah, I'm definitely gonna go back and watch that video again, and I'm gonna do it with headphones on so I can clearly hear what Wade says. Can't really count on these subtitles a lot of the time, especially if somebody has I won't say broken English, but a kind of a thick accent. So
Yeah, I agree. But I wanted to at least put the subtitles on because it is hard to hear. And it is a whole lot easier with headphones or if you play it by yourself and just turn it up. But I wanted to at least have subtitles on to, halfway get what they were saying because some of it's hard to understand.
yeah, for sure. And then another one that I saw, Cindy did not know. Cindy went back to the house, and Tint actually explained that I think in the beginning of the video. Like I said, you need to go back and watch it. Put the subtitles on, but listen to it with headphones. But Tint did explain that the video was taken as the three of them were walking to the trailer, and I don't know at what point Cindy turned around and went back to the house. She had to go to work or something, but she left Wade there to show the trailer to Tint. So she wasn't there for the conversation, and she, from from my understanding, absolutely did not approve of Wade talking.
What do you mean she wasn't there for the conversation? Because we see her in the video.
So the video the video is overlaid on top of the audio. The audio does not happen at the same time the video is taking place. He videoed them surreptitiously walking out to the horse trailer. And the audio was after Cindy had left and he struck up a conversation about Jack and Lily with Wade. Those are two same day, same situation, just the video is slowed way down and then just overlaid on the audio. So the
Okay.
conversation that Tint had with Wade here, Cindy was not present for that. Even though she's on the video, Tint had to come out and explain that 100 times.
Okay, because see, I was like, I thought the video seemed like it was in slow motion, I guess is the best way to put it. So, okay, that makes sense. Before we move on, Char C Legal had asked, did the guardianship hearing happen yet? I don't know if Belinda had seen that, and I don't know if she even wants to answer that, but I wanted to put that up there.
She did actually. I did see a screenshot, and I know that she had spoke about it in a different chat that the hearing did take place, but there are more filings to have to happen. So it has been put off for, I believe it was put off for a month. Don't quote me on that, but it did happen. They're going back for a second hearing in the future.
All right, I guess that's the answer. So, I guess I'll leave it up to you because I think you've got something else you want to share, and I will take this off.
Yeah, so I mean, with that said, you guys, I don't really have a whole lot more to talk about with Jack and Lily today. Um, like I said, hopefully Anita will agree to an interview, um, for not just for me, but for mostly for you guys. It's very important to me that, you hear it from the person, not just me saying it, because then it turns into, like, I saw some of the chats, not, I wasn't watching anything, but people send me screenshots and, well, Charmaine said this on her live stream yesterday, and I'm like, no, Charmaine didn't. Charmaine literally played a video where that was said, and then we talked about it. Um, I can't claim anything to be fact because the fact is I wasn't there. None of us were there. So everything that we talk about is alleged. Everything we talk about is speculation, unless it comes from the RCMP. And
Now, do you want people to send you questions to ask her?
absolutely. That would be fantastic. If my email address is taken across the bottom, but if you watched the live stream the other night, then just understand that the Monsters of Sabotage video has nothing to do with Anita's information. There was some overlap, but not connected. I don't know how else to explain that part of it. But if you have questions that you would, if you had the opportunity to ask this person, send them to me. Send them to me. Why not? Why not? Right? And just so everybody knows, my oh, okay. There was a hornet's nest in the trailer. Wade and Tint went to clear the nest. Oh, yes, he does explain it all. I think I'd be asking a stranger, are you here to buy a trailer or talk about the kids? It was very odd to me, Paul, that Wade just, talked to the stranger about all of these very personal things. But
I will be right back, Shar.
okay. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see or hear that. That Daniel's hearing is in Pictou on March 2nd. Chelsea said yes, it was put off to a later date. And even though I've missed an absolute metric ton of chat messages, I am at the end of chat. So just so everybody knows, I mean, we're still going to talk about Jack and Lily as much as we can. If we're struggling for information, we can talk about information that's come out elsewhere publicly. Doesn't make it fact. It's unfortunate, but there's nobody that we can believe in this case. Nobody. So Anita is somebody who grew up with Wade, who agreed to stay with Cindy and Wade to assist in babysitting the baby when Cindy was at work, when Malaya was given, I guess, supervised custody of the baby when she went to whatever. When Cindy was the supervisor, she was supposed to be under Cindy's supervision. Duh. Anita is the lady that stayed with them to care for the baby when Cindy was at work. So with that, just heads up, we're going to move on to Nancy Guthrie. We're going to look into to see if there's any updates happening today. There's a couple of things that I saw just really quickly that we can talk about. And then I want to pick Melissa's brain on the Epstein files. I hope I don't get shadow banned for that. But it's mind-blowing, the stuff that I'm hearing. But anyways, that's the direction we're going to go now. If you're not into it, thanks for being here for Jack and Lily. And if the family won't do it, we're still going to do it. Keep sharing their faces, their missing persons poster, and email me with any questions. Now, Nancy Guthrie. She's been missing since February 1st, last seen January 31st. We watched the video of the intruder from the Nest cam, the doorbell cam. And yeah, so there was allegedly some breaking news, and one of my favorite creators, Pascal, he's live right now, so I'll put his link up, go give him a like. But we're gonna play the beginning of his live stream because, wow. And then from there, this should give us direction to go because Melissa and I, both of us are kind of out of the loop for the last day on this case. So we'll catch up with Pascal here and then we'll talk about it. So be right back. I love Pascal too. He's great.
basically said that FBI is out there trying to have conversations with, Mexican officials, and now we're hearing that that might not be entirely true. So there's a lot of miscommunication that's just and misinformation that's just flying left and right with this case. And we are in day 19, guys. Day 19, 1-9, not 9, not 1, 1-9. 19 days into this mug. We're done. Like, we're done with this 19th day. We're about to hit 20 days now. Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm at that point right now where I'm like, what? I mean, at some point, you know what I mean? Like, we've been covering it ad nauseum. And I don't mean that to be in a bad way. I'm just saying we have been covering it ad nauseum since the day she was reported missing. And of course, everybody's very concerned. Everybody wants to know where the heck is Nancy Guthrie. But at the same time, I'm like, I mean, if there's no developments, what else can you talk about except go over the same stuff that they've given us and also have retracted from us, but then also given to us, but then also retracted from us, but also given to us, but then also retracted from us. So again, we're kind of at zero all over again, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And yeah, we got bupkis, guys. We're still at zero. And now we're in Mexico. Yeah. We in Mexico. Cabron. Now we in Mexico. What the hell is going on? Okay. What the hell is going on? Now, here's something else. We're going to get straight to it so that you guys can see it. I might play it again, in a little bit. Okay. But again, we are back at ground zero still. Now, this is something that's circulating all over the internet. Okay. All over the internet, all over X and Twitter. All right. Allegedly, this is footage from a new Ring camera from a neighbor's home from, if I'm correct, last night or really, really early in the morning last night. Okay, around 3:00 in the morning, you got another dude, a person backpacking through the area, walking through this person's property, and there's reflectives on their shoulders. This is absolutely insane. Real talk, guys. There's the guy right there, so you guys can see for yourself right there. So I'm going to play this footage so you guys can see this for yourselves. But this is absolutely crazy. Wouldn't it be wild if this guy had the balls, okay, to go back to the ground zero where the crime was committed and just walk around the area and just chill. You know what I mean? That'd be very. Catherine just said cheeky. Yes, it would be absolutely cheeky, love. Absolutely mad. Mad, love. Mad if he was walking in, right? So take a look at this.
Do you think that's him? I don't. Totally different gait. Well, he's got a coat wrapped around his belly.
Interesting, don't you think? Playing it in repeat so you guys can see it for yourselves. It's weird, right? It's very weird. Now, here's the thing. Different kind of clothing, different outfit, okay? But why would anyone backpack anywhere near the ground, like anywhere near the crime scene? Okay, and of course, not everybody is savvy to what happened here. Not everybody knows what's going on. Not everybody knows this case or anything of that sort. But at the same time, it does make you wonder.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think that's him. I don't think that's him. And like I said, I just saw Pascal was live, so I clicked on it to see what he was talking about. I saw his headline. So, all right. So here we go with Brian Enton. The latest from Pima County Sheriff. This remains an active investigation. As long as leads continue to come in, investigators will continue to follow up on them. Currently, several hundred personnel are assigned to the case. We know that. Brian Enton this morning, he went over into Mexico to see if people have heard about the Nancy Guthrie case. Having said that, now I wonder if Brian reported on his findings. Oh, big Nancy Guthrie. Oh, people hate TMZ. I get it. I get it. But if they got breaking news, if they got big news, we're going to watch it just for a couple of minutes, see if there's anything to it. If there's nothing to it, we'll move on. But patience is a virtue. Okay. Sea Legal, Nancy's case has taken over. It has, but we covered Jack and Lily for a solid 2 hours. And we're simply, changing the channel for a few moments. So let's watch what TMZ had to say today about the case.
But immediately taken to Mexico. Right. And so it could have been done a couple of days later, although what we're told is that they've checked cameras,
Border
they've
Patrol
used the cameras at the border. They've been going back through all the footage. They have not seen any sign of Nancy. Now, of course, they also realize that there are other ways that she could have been brought across the border.
There were also other electronic devices, and we're not
Yes.
going to get specific, but we're told there were other ways that they were electronically trying to figure this out, and they couldn't.
Right.
So they don't know. They don't know
so
whether
far
she's
that
in Mexico or
hasn't
not.
yielded anything, but it is interesting that they are looking at that as a possibility. As you'll recall, one of the notes that we got had said that Nancy was seen in Mexico
Right.
last Wednesday.
And
So-
they said one of the notes said, "I know where
Prepare-
she is. You're going to go international."
Right.
So Mexico has been floated. They don't know. They said, "Look, we don't think she was taken there if at all. She was not taken there immediately." But
Sounds like they're just chit-chatting about what Brian Enton is talking about. All right, he did. He talked about it. Let's talk. Let's listen to him for a sec.
Hey guys, so I crossed into Mexico. I'm in Nogales right now, right on the other side of the border from Arizona. And I'm talking to people about whether or not they have heard of the Nancy Guthrie case. It's super interesting. Most of the people I've talked to so far haven't heard of the case at all. They had no idea. We showed the picture of Nancy Guthrie, and they knew nothing. A few other people said they saw it on the news. So it is on the news over here in Mexico. It's just weird, like right across the border. And another woman was saying she saw it on social media. She saw it on Facebook and TikTok. So it's interesting. I'm just going to walk. This is Daniel, photographer, translator, because I don't speak very good Spanish. But we're going to just walk around Nogales and see. Again, it's just like right. This is where you would cross over if you were trying to come from Tucson. It's like an hour. It was very easy to get in, which I'll show you guys later. But it's interesting that so many people haven't heard the case over here, and it's right across the border. Hey guys, so I crossed into Mexico.
This is crazy.
This is how you
I don't know what that is, so I apologize. Straight off the hop. So let's have a look. Where is Melissa? Are you around, Melissa?
I'm here.
Enton took a major risk by going to Mexico, though I admire him. Hopefully he makes it back. Why do you say that? I was in Mexico. Are you talking about like right around those border towns? They can be kind of sketchy. I don't want to talk about chilling new theories, but of course there's no updates, which drives me nuts. What are your thoughts on the Mexico thing? Because okay, so for those of you who don't know, TMZ gets these ransom letters by some dude saying that he saw Nancy in Mexico. He knows who has her. Pay me however much money, or give me 50 grand basically, and I'll tell you the information. And after I give you the information, you give me the other 50 grand. Bob's your uncle. And so far that hasn't been paid, but that now allegedly has pushed law enforcement to speak to law enforcement in Mexico about the case. So that is where I believe we're at with this. What are your thoughts? Because we haven't had much of anything else. I'll do some searching while you're talking.
So I just find it highly unlikely that Nancy Guthrie is in Mexico. And the reason I say that is I watch a lot of that contraband seized at the border. You have to go through a checkpoint to get into Mexico. You have to go through a checkpoint to come back into the United States. So I find it highly unlikely that somebody, whether or not they crossed into the United States, took Nancy, but they would have had to take her back across the border, past hundreds of officers that are there at the border to get her in. It just doesn't make sense, right? Like there's just no, in my opinion, no way she's in Mexico. I could be wrong, but I highly, highly doubt that Nancy Guthrie is in Mexico. But at least what I can say is that law enforcement is at least doing their due diligence, in my opinion, to rule that out.
Right. I don't think they had much of a choice but to look into it. But the thing that's most interesting about that to me is, like you say, how is she going to get, how are they going to get her across the border? So, and when, right? Um, obviously they wouldn't be able to go through the border crossing. Obviously, she would have had to be snuck over somewhere or smuggled over. And I'd be lying if I said I knew how any of that worked, but the border patrol officer who Brian Enton interviewed did say that there were some forest areas along that border in that area that at nighttime it would be difficult, but it's not impossible. But at the same time, why? Because
But I
if
mean,
if
they're going to
look,
be caught.
yeah, well, if here's the thing, if you have the balls to go and kidnap somebody for ransom, you generally don't wait 2 days to send a ransom letter, and you would know that a ransom's not going to be paid without proof of life. And Savannah Guthrie came out and said, "We will pay." You know, she talked about how easy it is to make AI and, Photoshop and stuff. They wanted proof of life, believable proof of life, and then they would pay, but nothing was paid. So to me, and I think most people are under the same assumption that no proof of life was given. And
Well, for
yeah,
me, like, first of all, let's play this out. If you go and let's say they're from Arizona, they go and kidnap Nancy, right? When you go across the border, if you go across, the border crossing itself, CPD looks in your vehicle. They have to have your documents. They talk to you, and if you're nervous, they send you to the secondary area where it's a more intense search. So it would be hard for me to think somebody would go and kidnap an 84-year-old woman and be able to make it across the border at the border crossing without raising some sort of suspicion, being nervous or whatever. Now, let's say that they go another direction from Arizona to cross the border at night. You're going to have a flashlight, and you're going to have to walk an 84-year-old woman who has mobility issues in the dark safely across. It doesn't add up for me. And when somebody comes out and says, "Well, I'll give you the information on this if you give me 50 grand now, I'll give it to you, and then you got to give me 50 grand more," just screams hoax to me. That to me screams somebody who is just wanting a payday. and is taking advantage of the situation, in my opinion. And that's just, I hate to say it like that, but I just really don't see that it's plausible to take an 84-year-old woman to a different country. Um, I just don't see how that's possible.
Happy birthday, Kelly. Thanks for being here and everybody else that just came in.
Happy
And then
birthday.
also they said yesterday, I want to say that uh law enforcement is going around to different gun stores in the area with a list of 40 names and photographs asking if the gun shop workers had recognized the photos or the names. That's something else that's been happening. What do you think of that? Do you think that's going to lead to anything? Because I personally think that that gun was probably owned a long time before this. It's a semi-auto, but I think that they'd have more luck trying to track down the purchase of that ridiculous gun holster that doesn't go to the gun. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I have to agree. You're going to have better luck with tracking down the gun holster because it looked new, but I don't, how do I say this? I don't see why they're going to gun shops with pictures and names, considering the massive database. Like in the United States, you have to have a card, right, to legally carry. We're talking legally right now. And that can be tracked. When you buy a gun, the serial number and everything is recorded with who's buying it. Again, it's tracked. So for the FBI to take photos and names to gun shops and be like, well, do you recognize them, is kind of ridiculous because they have a database for that. They don't need to do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't quite understand that. And I agree. I believe the gun was owned longer, or I believe Sonny said even possibly it could have been hot, which means it was stolen. I don't.
Or
I
purchased
have issues
illegally.
with that whole thing.
Yeah, but I mean, at least they're working the case. They're working leads and stuff. And
Yes.
I think Google, apparently the Google techs are trying to see if they can get more footage from the other cameras around the property. I personally think that they'll be able to get something. I'm like, to me, I think it's highly unlikely that that ring cam footage is all that law enforcement's going to get. I mean,
I have to agree with you there because they didn't think they were going to get the one video, that they released, or well, the multiple that they've released. It was one, different clips essentially. So if they were able to retrieve that without her having a subscription to it, I fully believe that they're going to be able to get more video. And, like you said, at least they're looking into it. I'll give them that. Again, I don't think that taking pictures to the gun shop is going to do it because they have a database. I don't think she's in Mexico, but at least they are doing their due diligence, in my opinion.
yeah. And then Brian Enton, who is, he's got like a high level of integrity with his reporting. He has sources. Um, he's a good, decent human when it comes to the way he does his job. And he reported that his sources told law enforcement, actually the sheriff told him that they were conducting polygraph tests in relation or in order to clear certain people in this investigation. And then shortly before News Nation aired, the sheriff told, yeah, right here it says, Sheriff Nanos tells me the polygraphs today are for new hires. Um, the polygraphs I'm reporting about were not today. So to me, this is Matt Finn trying to get one over on Brian Enton. But I just because if you watched Brian Enton's interview of the sheriff, did you watch that? It
I
seemed
did.
that did you that it seemed that the sheriff was kind of pissed off at Brian for some of his reporting, you know?
And I will say, as far as Brian Enton goes, he's highly respected not only by the coworkers and people that are in that field, but he is, in my opinion, very trustworthy, and you can pretty much take what he says to the bank because he's not one that just goes out and reports BS. He does his due diligence. He, knocks on doors. He confirms, he corroborates everything he says. I have a lot of respect for Brian Enton and his reporting.
So, from my understanding, there's two questions about that. So, from my understanding, Sheriff Nanos requested the FBI's assistance in this investigation. They have to be invited in unless the crime crosses state lines, or um, if it's an abduction of a child or a serial um, offender, the FBI has to be invited onto the case. Maybe the TBI didn't invite the FBI into the Sebastian Rogers case. I know there was some noise about that, but I don't know. Melissa would probably know better. And the FBI, they've reached out to law enforcement in Mexico because obviously the FBI does not have jurisdiction in Mexico. I assume that they could work with Mexican officials, but they
Yeah,
wouldn't be
that's
able
what
just
I
to go
understood it.
over. Yeah. So what about Sebastian Rogers and the FBI? What can you tell us about that? I know you were more involved in that coverage with Sunny than I was.
So with Sebastian, if I remember correctly, guys, it's been a while. It was basically a pissing match. Same with Devlin Tate. It is we're better than you. We don't need your help. Just pissing match between them and Tennessee. The TBI did not want FBI. They were there at first. And then they kind of got into a tiff, so to say, over the direction. So unfortunately, FBI having to be called in by law enforcement, it really sucks because in a lot of cases, your local law enforcement wants to be the one to handle it, and it's a pissing match between them, sadly. And
Wanted
yes,
to see if I just wanted to see if I could quickly find the interview with the sheriff, but I'll have to dig a little deeper, and I got to put Harley outside. He's audibly tooting beside me, so he needs to go outside right away. So you can carry on with chat.
so I just gotta say, Brian Enton is easy on the eyes, guys. Let's see. I don't. So the FBI working in Mexico, FBI cannot. They don't have jurisdiction, but they are working in connection with the Mexican authorities. So they're basically working together. From my understanding of it, anyway, as far as that goes. I pray that Google can peel back the overlapped video. I hope they can. I really do. I hope that they can. I know, like I said, they didn't have a lot of hopes of getting the video they had. And if they were able to recover that, I fully think that they should be able to recover from the other cameras. Hopefully. I'm not gonna take that off. We're not gonna do that. Let's see. Excellent
I'm back
question.
for a few minutes.
Can the FBI go to Mexico and work the case? No. But they can work in connection with the Mexican authorities, just like if they were to go into any other country, they can work with those authorities. So the Mexican authorities would be in charge, but they're working in connection with, which I think is great. Just let me say this: blessings to the person that donated the money to raise it to 200,000. Yes, somebody donated 100,000. So it was like 102,000 and some odd dollars.
But he donated that to the Arizona Crime Stoppers. So
Yes.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's a different fund. But
Yes.
yeah, it's up just a little over 200,000 now.
Yes.
In total.
So the FBI has $100,000 reward, and then there's the second reward with the Crime Stoppers. That's 102,000 and some odd dollars. So it is two separate funds, but if you put them together, yes, it leads over. I'm not sure what you mean by politics. Kinda, if you're talking about when they want to bring the FBI in and when they don't. Yeah, I mean, it's just a pissing match. Brian Hinton is the whole package. He is so humble. Yeah. I love watching his stuff, and like I said, he's easy on the eyes, that I could listen to his voice for a very long time.
Can
I
I play this after you hit that comment? I'll play this because I did find the interview. It's quite interesting. It's not very long, but it's interesting.
So it says, Michelle said, I do believe, though, that the CIA can go into Mexico and investigate. I don't know. I have no clue about that. I know about like FBI, but I don't have a clue about CIA.
I think like what are they called? The embassies in different countries. I think there's CIA that works through embassies in other countries. So you're probably not wrong, but it's not, I don't think it's affiliated with law enforcement officially. And Dodie, I think, asked if the FBI can work in Canada. Again, only if they're invited and only in correlation with Canadian law enforcement. However, they do come here for training and seminar purposes. Like their profilers came to Canada and did training and still do. And if they're asked to do a profile or something on a Canadian case, they absolutely do. But they just don't have jurisdiction, basically. Now, do you mind if we play this here?
It's your channel.
Yeah. So, there you go. There you go, Dodie. I'm sure you saw that already. We're probably behind in chat again. Okay. So, we're going to watch this video because it's awesome. Everybody seems to be drooling over Brian Enton. Not my type, but I mean, good. He's cute. But we're going to watch it because he's excellent at his job.
Or they basically cut me off at the end. It started off with him telling me, it's kind of awkward for a second. He said, you have questions for me, and this is before the camera started rolling. You have questions for me, and I have questions for you. And he kind of brought up some of my coverage and some of the people who I've interviewed who have had not such great things to say about him. And he was going to address some of those things at the end of the interview, but then we ran out of time because the person who was in charge, like the media sort of handler, was said, oh no, 10 minutes is up, you're done. So this is really all the time that I had. But I think what was most interesting is what he said. To me, what was most interesting is what he said about the Google Nest cameras, and they're still trying to get more video. So this is my interview with the sheriff. Thank you for doing this, Sheriff. Appreciate it very much. I know that you and the FBI were able to get those surveillance photos off the camera in the front of the house. Any progress on the other cameras? Can you do the same thing?
Boy, I'm hopeful. Here's what happened there. So we, of course, that camera we don't have, right? It was taken, removed from the scene, but we knew it existed, and we asked, I think it's Google Nest, Google, hey, what can you do with this? And we gave them the other cameras and asked the same. And they said, well, there's not a subscription here. And it is hard because it overwrites itself, right? Every, I don't know how many hours, maybe it's every 36 or 72, whatever it is. But you know what, Sheriff, we'll try. Thank you. The way they came back with this. And I'm going to try to explain this as a simple man that I am, would. They explained it, it's like peeling paint. You have images over images over images, and you want to get to that 8th layer or the 6th layer. And you got to peel back very easily because you might destroy the layer you wanted. So they were able to do that. I said, oh, this is really, that was that piece of evidence. Oh, they kept it 10 days. No, we all would sit here with, right in our command post with the FBI and went, this is really great stuff. We need this out there. So I don't know that it was here more than 2 hours, and it's only because we had to do some cutting of it the way they sent it to us and prepare it to get out to the media, and had to check with Washington, all those things that the FBI had to do as well. And we got it out probably less than 2 hours. And it generated in that first hour for us, just alone here at the department, almost 5,000 tips. So it's a great piece of evidence. So there's other cameras. Your question, will we get more? We've asked the Google, hey guys, can you do this? And they said the very same thing. Sheriff, we don't think we can get anything, but we'll try. And that's all we're hoping.
And so as of now, it's still just the video from the front.
Yes.
Okay. Savannah Guthrie, Nancy's daughter, obviously very famous, loved around the country. Is this really random, or do you think someone may have had, like, you know, a grievance against Savannah? Have you been able to sort that out at all?
You know, well, yeah. But anything's possible, right? I mean, there was talk, well, this was a burglary gone bad. This was that. Those things have never come out of this office because we recognize that anything is possible and will allow that evidence to show us what it is. The time to ask that question, motive, is when we actually know who's done this. So, yeah, I get the speculation, but yeah, for me, I just looked at it and said from day one that Nancy was removed from her home against her will. We need to find her.
I know your deputies, detectives are working around the clock. I mean, we see them, you know. How long can this go on for in terms of the investigation at this level?
Because of the media, really, and that's a good thing, right? Because of the media, we've generated so many leads. I know last Wednesday we had 18,000 leads. The FBI had 14, so you're talking over 30,000. We're probably closer to 40 or 50,000. As long as those leads keep coming, we'll keep at it.
I know you've said you can't, for the investigative reasons, talk about what you found in the house. But is there a lot in the house that you're not able to say? I mean, is there a lot of evidence we don't know about in terms of this being a crime?
No, again, you're asking me something that I can't talk about. I will tell you this. We removed some biological evidence, prints, DNA, whatever. All of that was removed and sent to the lab. We removed physical evidence, computers, phones, everything, anything we could. And that's submitted to another lab. That was given to the FBI. And why do we give it to the FBI? Because we know that they're very good at some of that stuff. And so we share with them that. Why did we give ours to our lab? Because it's what we've done for years, and our lab's always done well. In fact, we've used the FBI before. They're very good at solving things and doing things. But the FBI, not unlike our Department of Public Safety in Phoenix, they have a lab. They could have been used. But we look at it as this. If I use, for example, a state lab, DPS, or the federal lab, Quantico, you have to understand they have others using those labs too. And so it really puts a lot of strain on them to prioritize those cases and do what they can with them. Where if I have my own lab or a contract lab, it allows me easier access to those cases that I think are important to us. And I'm not talking this case, I'm just talking cases in general. We could build a lab, but that's pretty expensive too. We just found that this lab we use is very good. Were they in Florida at the time? I have no idea. But I know that in today's world of technology, reports are generated and sent out in the flash of an eye. What we need to know is when we send something to a lab, Can we get it back to us quickly? Can we have a rush order, if you will? Well, sometimes I want this now. But the FBI may say, well, we understand that, but New York has a crime, LA has a crime, so it's it's not against the labs. And so when this piece of evidence, we did what we normally do. We send it to the lab and we did that scene. Then we went and did another scene when we did a search warrant on Rio Rico. So all of that was gone. Now we find a glove. The FBI says, oh, we can send it to Quantico. And I said, well, you know what? Let's keep it all in one place. Let's just send it all to our lab. No, it's not like no FBI's got a bad lab or no, the sheriff's department uses DNL, they're a bad lab. No, it is about keeping your evidence together in one spot. And when that report comes out, it goes to both agencies. It just made sense. In fact, all of this conversation I had with you, when they said, oh, the sheriff blocked evidence, this conversation I had with the FBI lasted probably a minute and a half, and they said, makes sense, Sheriff. And it was done. There's no blocking evidence or just crazy.
Let me ask you, okay, we've seen the photos from the surveillance camera in the front of the man. Do you think there could be a second suspect?
You saw what I saw. We know he is a bad dude. He's who we want. Is there somebody else working with him? I don't know that. We'll know it when we find him.
The TMZ letters. I've lost count of how many they've received. TMZ, they've been receiving these letters claiming that it's from someone involved.
So the ransoms,
yes,
or those kinds of letters.
And I know FBI is investigating that part, right?
Correct.
But do you think they're legit? Because it seems like every day they're on TV with a new letter.
Again, you want to go to your experts, right? It would be irresponsible for me to give my opinion on something that we've given to the FBI to look into. That's their bailiwick. We'll let them handle that.
In the search warrants, we saw the one in Rio Rico, and then we saw the one close to, I think, 2 miles from Nancy's house on Friday night. Does that mean that you all believe the suspect could be close? Because it seems like the action we're seeing so far is right in the Tucson area.
So how those develop is this, and you may see it today. It may not be anything today. You may see 5 of them today. But what happens is this. We have 400 investigators out there from all agencies, not just in this valley, the 10 different law enforcement agencies, but some from Phoenix and the FBI from across the country. And they're out there shaking down leads. 40-some thousand leads. Every morning they get up and they're working 24/7. So they start with a little lead and they're told to go check on this. And that lead develops. And as they move through it, it grows and grows like a snowball, just getting bigger and bigger to a point where they go, you know what? I think we've developed a person of interest. I think we've got something here that maybe we need to go back and brief on. So they come back in and they talk to the command post who's there. U.S. attorney, county attorneys, different law, the people behind different areas of law who sit back and discuss it and say, you know what, maybe there's enough here for a search warrant. Maybe we got to get petition for physical characteristics. Maybe that characteristic is a photo. Maybe it's buckle cells. Maybe it's finger, whatever it is. And we present it to a judge. And a judge says, yeah, I think here's enough. He signs it. That's how that snowballs. And everybody's energetic and they're so enthused. I wish you could see the face of the young men and women out there who are working these and all the energy, because it's what happens in investigations, particularly bigger investigations, where they're so excited, probably like you are. We've got a good thing, we're going to, and then it falls through. It's not the person. Nancy's not at that house. But that's part of the ebbs and flows of investigation. You're going to have that highs and lows. So for me, that's why it's important that I dispel some of the things that are out there so my team knows that, no. They're a solid team. This is a team who solves crime every day. They are my experts. I would be silly to not listen to them. When they tell me we spent 20 some hours at this scene, we processed this scene, I'm taking their word that they're good. I don't need to hear from some pundit out there who's never done a crime scene. I don't need to hear from somebody who's never done a criminal investigation. I've got experts. That's who I choose to listen to. Just like the noise in the background, the critics who want to run for office. Go do that stuff. I just want to find Nancy. I want my team focused every morning. When they hit that low, but they know that they have someone who believes in them and their work. They're going to do it. I have 100% faith they will solve this case. If you're the guy, if you're that monster, you should be worried. You should let her go. Just let her go.
Are you getting closer?
I think we are. I think we are. But I have to have that belief, right? I have to have that faith. Every day, we'll keep at it. We ain't quit.
Appreciate the sheriff for making the time to talk with me. Again, I know he's done a lot of media interviews.
Thoughts, Melissa, on that interview?
I don't think that sheriff. I don't think that sheriff likes Brian Enton very well. I did note, he said that after they released the photos and videos, that within the first hour, the Pima County Sheriff's Department had 5,000 tips. That, if you divide that, that equals out to be 83.33 repeating. So essentially 83 tips an hour, which is a lot. That's over 1 a minute. Yeah, so that's a lot for me. But something I haven't heard anybody mention, and I would be curious to know, is with the glove that they had. We've heard about, that they got DNA off that glove and that they ran it through CODIS, and there wasn't a hit. What I would like to know is if they turned that glove inside out and actually got fingerprints off of it, because that is possible to do. So I haven't heard anybody mention it, but I would be curious to know if that was done.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm sure, because you're not dealing with, no matter what you think of the sheriff or the Pima County Sheriff's Office, the deputies, the FBI, I mean, they're FBI for a reason. They go through a whole different level of training and expertise. So I'm sure, mind you, the glove wasn't sent to their lab, was it? It was sent to Florida. So interesting. But I've heard rumblings of Othram Labs being involved with the genetic genealogy testing. So that's encouraging. And what else was there? I was going to say something else that's um, about the pacemaker. I don't know. I think it's pretty obvious that they're still trying to track down the pacemaker, but I don't know how that would work. The pacemaker would still work even if the heart stopped beating, but I don't know for how long. And I don't know if a doctor would have, obviously, the doctor doesn't have the ability to track that pacemaker, otherwise, she'd be found already.
Does a pacemaker battery have to be charged? I don't know enough about pacemakers to know that. I know, like the implant that I have to charge it. It lasts for 10 years, but I still have to charge it. So does anybody know if that's, how does the pacemaker battery, does it need charged, or does it have a charge no matter what?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have zero experience with pacemakers. Explains why there isn't a real ransom. The family, Annie and Tom, are involved. Too risky to request a ransom. They'll collect life insurance, pay the abductor his part, and be set. You do know there's such thing as burner phone? Absolutely. Uh, I think that Brian Enton was told that polygraphs were administered in order to clear certain individuals, and then the sheriff came out and said the family, including spouses, have been cleared. And for me, I just took that as they've probably been cleared as the donor Am I back? That was weird. But I think that they were cleared as the donor of the DNA in that glove, which, by the way, wasn't the glove. The glove that was sent for testing allegedly was not the same glove that we saw. Whatever news station that was, they actually was there to film them collecting the glove a mile or 2 miles away or whatever it was. That's not the same glove. There's a different glove that was sent in. And apparently there was DNA mixed, a mixed sample of DNA inside the house as well. So I do think it's going to be solved. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of hope that Nancy will be found alive, but I do think that we'll have answers in this case. I don't think we're going to be here 9, 10 months down the road. What do you think?
I hope we're not here that far down the road. I really do. But there are a couple comments here I want to hit real quick. I need to come back on camera. So, not even gonna, Cleveland here says that pacemaker batteries have to be surgically replaced. So thank you for answering that. So yes, ma'am, you had asked how they would charge it. That's why I had a question, because this is my charger for my implant, and I have a battery, which I turn it on, it makes that noise. And then I place it where my implant is, and it charges my implant. So that's why I wasn't sure about a pacemaker as to if it needed to be charged like this one, like my implant.
Cool. I want to hit as many comments as I can. Was an alert the last contact at 2:28? I don't even know if that was contact. Wasn't that just the movement detected in the house? I can't remember.
So if I remember correctly, the 228 was they seen movement on another camera, but the footage wasn't seen, like a person wasn't seen. It detected movement, but you couldn't see what was causing it.
Inside the house, though, right?
I believe so, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. I don't see how media spending time interviewing FBI or former FBI bashing sheriff and vice versa is helping find Nancy. She should be a priority. It did take, I think, a lot of attention and point it towards what was deemed to be incompetent leadership. But I think in some ways it probably made them a little more aware of, I don't know, how they were being perceived or how they were conducting the investigation. I don't know if it's good or bad, but it definitely raised some eyebrows. Yeah, dude, but sad folks can't take your word. What does that mean? Oh,
Talking about the
yeah,
sheriff.
the sheriff, yeah. You think he's full of shit? So bizarre. It is a bizarre case. It really is. Who steals an 84-year-old woman, waits 2 days to send a bizarre ransom, and doesn't provide proof of life, but yet allegedly sends another ransom? I don't know if this is the guy claiming to know where Nancy is who sent another ransom yesterday, asking for roughly 6 million in crypto, not Bitcoin, different form of crypto. I don't know. They weren't clear whether or not that's the alleged kidnapper or if it's the guy who knows the information. It's it's bizarre. I've wondered about her last meal. Oh, because she had dinner over at Annie and Tom's. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know about that sheriff. A lot of people don't, and I've heard, and I could be wrong, don't quote me on this, but I've heard that he is up for re-election not until 2029, and he'll be something like 73 years old at that time. Thought most people retire around 65. And I know that number is getting higher and higher because of, the economy and stuff, but no, I would assume they would do whatever test they could with the glove. I agree. I agree. And if they have DNA from inside the house and genetic genealogy, it is literally a matter of time, you guys. It might take a while, but Megan Kelly, I believe, did an interview with that Cece, the kind of the the grandmother of the genetic genealogy. I wish I could remember her last name. I feel terrible, but Cece even said that it could take some time, but they will find the donor of that DNA. I think there were gloves under gloves, so top glove wouldn't have fingerprints, bottom glove would, unless, like, it depends on the material of the glove too, right? Like, to me, it looked like he was wearing the latex gloves over top of maybe some driving glove or something. So, depending on the material of the liner of those inside gloves, there may or may not have been a fingerprint. There hasn't been any reports of motels of maids walking in, seeing anything, or abandoned homes. So where else? Anywhere. I know that Dolly and JLR both were out actually searching different spots today, out in the deserts and looking in barrels. And I mean, unfortunately, you just never know. Um, I'm one of the television shows JLR stated when it comes to a pacemaker flap anywhere from 12 to 13 years. Wow. Batteries last 5 to 10 years, and having them changed is the surgery. Can you Bluetooth a pacemaker to a different phone to make it look like it quit working on one it was set to? Not sure. I think you would have to have the device's serial number to make sure you're connecting the right device. I
I
don't
would
know.
think I would think that there would be proof of that though.
Yeah. Yeah, and they have um technology that was supposed to be with the serial number or the model number or whatever of her pacemaker. It was supposed to be able to detect that pacemaker. And so they were flying over certain areas with a helicopter with this technology attached to it, and they didn't find anything. So, hey, everybody coming in and Crime Science Stories. Thanks for being here.
I want to say thank you to everybody for answering the question about does a pacemaker need charge? Because, like I said, my implant does, so I wasn't sure about a pacemaker.
Yeah, it's very interesting to me. Um, are they sure she was even in house at time of mask guy on porch and stuff planted to look like it? I would think that if they were able to get that footage from the the Nest camera, they would have, because apparently when you don't have a subscription, the footage overwrites itself after a certain amount of time. So I would suspect that up until that camera was removed, anything, and I mean, it could be anything from like an hour to 12 hours, but anything on that camera up until that point would have been logged and maybe started to been uh, written over by additional footage. That's just what I think. But they might have her actually returning home. They might have Tommaso dropping her off. They and who knows about the cameras on the roof and at the back of the house. Um, but I mean, we've seen in other cases that law enforcement make these assumptions based on what family says. So, I mean, it's a good question. Nancy's pacemaker lost contact with the app at 2:28. Thank you. Likely sent an alert to her phone. Well, yeah, but people are saying, Chandler, that the most likely went out of range of the app on her phone, right? That's why it disconnected. Not saying that the phone wouldn't have got an alert, but the phone, I think, was found in her house. On TIR today, Karen McDonough, sorry, said only one outlet wrote about who Nancy Guthrie is. Much insight about Nancy Guthrie's life and friends was former journalist, taught Bible study and a book club, worth viewing versus bickering for sure. And also interesting to note some Google searches that were done in June of 2025, somebody out there searched for Nancy Guthrie's home address. They also searched for Savannah Guthrie's net worth. And then also there was a search done again for Nancy Guthrie's home address on January 11th, which was interesting considering that that was one of the days that law enforcement was asking for specific footage for. So that's interesting to me. Hey, Heather. No conventional pacemakers do not need to be recharged. They are powered by internal sealed battery designed to last 5 to 15 years. It is very strange. And once the battery is low, the entire device generator is replaced, not just the battery. Yeah, that's what they were saying. It has to be surgically replaced. The fourth letter sounds like it was written by a woman. That's interesting. Very interesting. I went to the link and it wouldn't take me to anything. What? Now we've got 312 people watching. It would be great if people could jump over to Melissa's channel and sub up. It's free to do, and she's a mere 6 subs away from hitting 500. Baby channel. Let's help her reach that goal. When the Apple Watch disconnected from her pacemaker, according to the timeline from the sheriff, I don't trust anything he says. But when he says something on the record like that, again, it can be proven. But I mean, then I don't know. I don't know. He has retracted some things too, so good point. Monitoring doctors monitor the battery life during regular, often monitor checkups. Sadly, Nancy has been lost in all of this. We can deal with law enforcement mistakes later. Nancy needs to be found like yesterday. I agree. I agree. And what about that? Was there a Range Rover? Land Rover? What do you guys think was in there? What's your thoughts on that Range Rover? Was that where do we think that's where the individual shot himself that we heard about? Or do you think something else is up with that? Melissa
I don't
wants to
know.
hear.
I'm not sure how I feel about that one.
I remember I was watching Defense Diaries that night, and Bob and Allie were they were just looking around for updates, and Allie was monitoring this one, and it was just basically the Range Rover parked there. Um, and then all of a sudden they put this sheet up, and there were law enforcement holding sheets up around the vehicle. And the first thing I thought is, oh my gosh, I hope there's not, a person in the back of that SUV because they had the back open. And then they eventually ended up towing that vehicle, and we do know it's been taken into evidence in relation to this case, but very troubling to say the least. Obviously, it wasn't Nancy, so that's good. But yeah, her pacemaker information will be accessible by her doctor. That's why it was introduced, monitoring without checkups. Okay, good to know. Who's Luke? You forget, Marie, we're out of the loop in the last 24 to 36 hours in this case. We're trying to catch up. That was really weird, that Range Rover. I thought at first it was a body. I did too. Just the way they were really, really protective of that back section.
Especially when they held up the sheet.
Yeah. And not just one sheet, right? They had two. They had the whole back covered off. Oh, is that one of the oh, is that the person that was also peacefully detained? The traffic stop? Is that what that was? Nobody, it was an accident. A person was hit and ran, then hit again, so that's why it looked like pew pew to the head. Yeah, no, I know that, but I had heard there was a separate incident, but there was none? Because I understand that Dolly said what he said. He was mistaken. He was panicked. He took the live stream down immediately and then put another one up where he explained what he saw. He was getting updates from PJ and from chat, and the rumblings were there was that situation. So he mistakenly thought that was a gunshot wound when it wasn't. It was the person involved in a hit and run and then ran over a second time, unfortunately. But I didn't know that that wasn't a thing. Like I thought that there was a gunshot victim not related to the Nancy Guthrie investigation. But I do know that the other person, the third individual, was peacefully detained during a traffic stop nearby. Oh, it was at the same place of the Range Rover? Okay. There was an arrest the guy did on the vehicle. Yeah, I was also on Dolly's Live. It turned out it was a pedestrian that got hit by two cars as for holding up a sheet. The Land Rover there was a person being searched behind the sheet. Oh, was there? Okay. Interesting. I didn't notice that. Again, it was very, very late at night. They were watching it live on Defense Diaries. I was in bed. I was watching it. So, do you have anything else you want to talk about with this case, or can we move on to the Epstein files?
I guess let's move on because there's not really much else to say about Nancy.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody has if anybody has anything you want to talk about with Nancy Guthrie, feel free to put it in the chat. We'll come back to it absolutely, but we want to. It's not something that I'm 100% comfortable with sharing. I don't want to be shadow banned or, I don't want to get a hit put on me or anything like that. But I think full transparency. I've been watching Law and Crime every night. It's my go-to to go to sleep. Just listening to the Epstein stuff that Law and Crime have been covering because it's bizarre. But the fact that the ex-Prince Andrew was arrested in connection with his relationship with Epstein, just giving him insider info at this point, that's a pretty bold move. And I think it's interesting. What was it, Marie? 1 million pages of documents were released. So we're never going to get through all of them. But I have something from Law and Crime that goes through some of the stuff um, that we'll watch. I like your concise and calm demeanor. It's refreshing that you address comments. Thank you. Thank you for being here, Chandler. I appreciate you. Epstein is a monster. I think Nancy was going to be a whistleblower against pharma fraud she had found back in March 25, reported to supervisor, but was forced to process. Really? Do you have, my email address is ticking across the bottom. Do you have a source or an article for that I can look up so the next time we talk about Nancy, we can talk about that. That's interesting. The Range Rover story about someone pew-pewing themselves was debunked. Thank you. Dolly said it. Law enforcement was furious about the misinformation. Okay. Yeah, because up until like right now, I thought that was still a thing, just not related to Nancy Guthrie. So stuff like that grows legs, catches fire, like immediately. How was your thoughts on the sheriff's energy when speaking to him? To me, he is very nervous, unsteady in thoughts as well as statements to the evil look in his eyes. I'm going to be honest with you. I get a serious ick from him. I don't know if it's just his energy or if it's like knowing what we know about how he's conducted the investigation or how he's kind of been saying stuff and then retracting it or denying saying it. Or for me, the big one was going to that game while Nancy and her siblings are putting out this plea for their mother, and he's at some basketball game. That hit me right in the gut. Um, I'm I don't want to speak negatively because I don't know the man, but all like I don't know, he doesn't seem Kindly, I think he should retire. Those are my thoughts. What about you, Melissa? What are your thoughts?
I think it's pretty reckless to put information out and then retract it or say something and be like, well, I didn't say that. Stop trying to gaslight everybody. Say what you mean what you say, and stop retracting it because he's hurting his own credibility by doing so. And that's never a good thing for a sheriff, to destroy their own credibility.
And I mean, let's be honest, I think it also negatively impacts his investigators. You know, I think that if you believe all of the other interviews that Brian Enton and others have done with other former officers in the area, if you believe all of that, then morale is already low. So, and I think that's probably a big reason why they called in the FBI, thankfully. Thankfully. Luke Daly has been cleared as a suspect. Was he one of the polygraphs, Carla? Yes, that young girl that he slept with, she killed herself. Yes. She is the whistleblower. Her name is Virginia. Feel for her. And I remember when she first started talking, everybody was like, what? Wait, what? So did Prince Andrew, he was arrested today? Correct. I got a major ick when I first heard him talk. I know. And he looks just weathered. I believe Nancy is no longer alive. Given her health issues, how long it's been, her age, the fact that there was blood there, so she is injured in some way, shape, or form. I I I don't disagree with you.
Add on top of that she doesn't have her medication.
Dasha. Yeah, and no medication that we know of. I mean, I assume they would have had the family search him and confirm that her medication wasn't taken. But I still don't understand why steal an 84-year-old woman for ransom if you're not going to take medication to make sure she stays alive to get your money and then not give proof of life. I mean, obviously the ransom is bullshit. But I mean, fuck. What a
I mean, if you're going to take somebody and you want ransom, then you're going to be willing to send proof of life to get that money, especially the amount of money that they're wanting. You know, you might be a little more hesitant to send, proof of life for 20,000. I mean, I would think that you still would, but they're wanting $6 million. A photo or a video of her still alive, you will get that money or possibly get that money. it strikes me as weird, which is why, between how long it took them to send the ransom note, what they're asking for, the fact they haven't shown proof of life, all of that tells me she's probably no longer alive, and that the ransom notes were hoaxes in the first place, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, even if I agree with you, they're a complete hoax, and here's why. Even if you're the dumbest kidnapper on the face of the earth, if you're told publicly, we will pay, we need proof of life, you're giving proof of life. If it's a real ransom and you've got that hostage, you're giving proof of life. Like even
Exactly.
terrorists do that. I mean, it's unfortunate, but the ransom is a red herring, and unfortunately, I don't know what to think. What it was. Burglary gone wrong. So why take the woman? I think it's more likely, just in my opinion, it's more likely that this was something to do with Savannah. Probably some obsession or some. I don't think it was about money though, because if it was, you would make sure you had proof of life, unless an accident happened and she passed away before that could happen. But why wait 2 days? Was she sick maybe for the 2 days? You
But if
know?
you stop and think about it, if it were a robbery gone wrong, why take the body in the first place instead of loading up whatever you could load up real quick and take with you? There was nothing necessarily missing from the home of value. So that tells me it's not a robbery gone wrong, because they would have taken what they wanted or tried to take something. There would have been some proof within the house that things were gone through, drawers pulled out or something, as opposed to let's break in and take this elderly woman and nothing else. Doesn't make sense for a robbery gone wrong to me.
No, exactly. If it was a robbery gone wrong and, something had happened where she uh, passed away during or whatever, it would have been, to me, in my opinion, it would have been more of a, you know, they walk into uh, finding a deceased person there. There's no reason to take the woman, you know? Like, doesn't make sense to me.
I agree.
Sorry, I am searching for, oops, wrong side. Um, the Epstein one that I wanted to, why? Oh, you all, duh, sorry. Sorry, everybody. It's very interesting, the first bit of this one. I believe this is the one. Yes. Right. Nano's brother died on February 2nd. I guess he's having a tough time. Fair enough. I mean, maybe, good information to know, to be a little less judgy. However, if it was going to impact his ability to perform his job as leader of a missing persons or kidnapping investigation, maybe that's why he called in the FBI. I don't know, Chandler, but good thought. Prince Edward, he went to the island and slept with underage girl. Not just one. Yes, Andrew spent 7 hours detained, and he was released. But I don't know if he's been released without charges. Brian is doing a special on Saturday at 7 about Nancy, everything they know from the beginning to now. Excellent. Thank you for letting me know, Scotia Leah. So much corruption in sheriff's office. Allegedly, he has reassigned or fired those who opposed him in the past. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard all of that too. Really? That's wild. He could take bereavement. I understand, when you're dedicated to your profession and your job, and if you are a law enforcement officer, sheriff, you would want to be there for Nancy as well. But like I said, if you have to be able to do your job, and if he wasn't, to me, he should have taken a backseat to this one. So, anyway, moving on. Like I said, if there's anything you want to talk about with Nancy, go ahead, put it in the chat. We will get to it. And we're gonna watch a little bit of this. But I'm worried that this isn't the right one, but either way, I'm gonna watch it.
After the bomb.
Just give me a minute. I'm gonna find the right spot. No, this isn't the one. This isn't the right one. I'm sorry, you guys. This is not the right one. My history. And I just watched all that stuff. Not this one. Oh, there we go. This one.
There's something deeply fucked up with you.
Videos of girls dancing in a Manhattan townhouse, model castings, pornography of all kinds. These are just a few of the more than 2,000 videos released under the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Plus, there are interviews where Epstein calls himself a Tier 1 sexual predator.
Do you think you're the devil himself? I don't know. Why would you say that?
We dug through hours of footage to find some of the creepiest but most telling clips.
I'm going to put the link to this video in the chat so you guys can watch the whole thing, but I'm just going to watch the first few minutes and I'm going to skip to 13 minutes because I got to tell you, before this, I never heard Jeffrey Epstein talk because I was never interested in the case. I was more interested in the victims and their stories. It's the first time I've heard this man talk, and I got to tell you, he sounds stupid. He does. I know he's not, but he sounds like a low IQ thug, in my opinion. I don't know. So like I said, we're going to just watch the first few minutes, and then I'm going to skip ahead to the 13-minute mark, and we're going to listen to this bizarre interview that he gave that was never aired. But I'll put the link in the chat too.
Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. All right, quick 180 before we jump into this. I know I talk about sponsors, but when I'm passionate about one, how can I not talk about code Sidebar for 20% off? We talk so much about the Epstein files these past few weeks. The emails, the case summaries, the reports, the photos, unfortunately. What about the videos? What about the tapes? What about the Epstein tapes? From a legal point of view, I will tell you, sometimes I can't think of a more compelling piece of evidence to show a jury than videos, because videos, they capture something that no other piece of evidence can. Movements, actions, time, behavior. And here, again, I'll throw in the unfortunately, there are tapes in the Epstein files release that we got to talk about. We are referring to more than 2,000 videos with hours of footage, all a part of the Department of Justice's release of materials through the Epstein Files Transparency Act. And this includes the tapes of Jeffrey Epstein himself, which are particularly strange because we never really hear this guy speak before, let alone in this way. And remember, he's the man at the center of all this, and we'll get to that. But I do want to preface this by saying that much of the footage is redacted, and we don't know the ages or the identities of the women and the girls that have been covered by black boxes, so I'll be just calling them females, since, again, we don't know how old they are. Now, I do want to talk about arguably some of the most uncomfortable clips first, okay? Some of the footage included in the release is pretty innocuous. someone playing with a small dog, what looks like a promotional piece for Little St. James Island, often called Epstein's Island, which he owned. Now, I say innocuous, we know what was happening on that island was allegedly not innocent. Multiple victims have come forward to say that they were assaulted and abused on that island. That island is also the centerpiece for many potential scandals, with people questioning whether some of the world's wealthiest and most powerful people visited it. If there's a claim that you visited that island, it's as toxic as it gets. Now, some of the clips, although they're redacted, obviously pornography sites. It's unclear how many of the clips were from legitimate online porn sites and how many were created by Epstein's victims at his behest, but several of the porn videos have website watermarks at the bottom referencing teens, unfortunately. But other videos are just strange. For example, you got this selfie video of Epstein making weird and unsettling faces into the camera. There's another that shows him standing up on a countertop in a large kitchen and then getting down and literally chasing a female around the room. Again, I don't know how old this person is. There's also footage of him dancing with someone in what appears to be a hallway. You know what? Actually, there are lots of dancing videos, with several apparently filmed in Epstein's office at his home in New York City. And I just gotta say this, how creepy is this one? In one of the videos, you can clearly see a paternity test, this kit sitting on Epstein's desk. Some of the footage is especially unsettling because while we don't know the age of the females in the video, there are also stuffed animals visible in the frame. For example, this selfie video of someone holding a Cookie Monster doll, and another, which we can assume based on the context contains pornographic material, shows a teddy bear in the background. And there's even a video of someone playing with a young child, handing them various toys and stuffed animals. We don't know who this child is, where this video was taken, the connection to Epstein, but obviously really concerning. And remember,
I am just, like, it disgusts me what could possibly be in those files. We're not going to watch the entire thing, but I'm going to go back, just pick a random spot to start the interview, and we're going to watch it from there. But I'm telling you guys, like, go and watch this whole episode. Long Crime has an absolute ton of information, a ton of coverage on these Epstein files. It'll blow your mind. Blow your mind. Really will. Here we go.
You want to ask us, who was the other call to?
Who was the other call to?
The other call was to my friend at JP Morgan, who was then, I didn't know it at the time, trying to buy Bear Stearns. So at one point, I had two phones. It was difficult because they're afraid people are going to hang themselves with the phone cord. So they don't actually come together and they're pretty short. So I was actually going between two phones talking to Bear Stearns and JP Morgan at the same time. So I found it amusing.
And it never struck you about how to end up in a situation like this?
No, that would be probably means I would be too self-aware.
You can't possibly expect me to believe this.
I know. I don't believe it.
It's you're telling me that during that day, you never had a moment. You sat there and go, what the have I done with my life that I'm in a 6x9 jail cell when I should be on a trading desk or I should be in my $250 million greatest townhouse in New York City, taking calls from the king of Saudi Arabia, the president of China, the head of Russia, the president of the United States, to save the world's population from a financial debacle. You honestly expect me to believe that that never happened?
You're suggesting I was somewhat depressed, and how could this happen to me?
I'm not saying depressed. I'm saying a moment of awareness of how could I get myself into this situation?
No, I would just say how strange that this happens. It's strange. I'm wearing a jumpsuit and flip-flops.
What color was the jumpsuit?
Brown.
Brown jumpsuit.
Yes.
I notice I don't see you in a lot of brown.
No.
Brown jumpsuit and flip-flops.
Flip-flops, yes.
With no access to books, no access to newspapers.
No access to anything.
You had lived on information.
Except my Almond Joy bars. I had extra Almond Joy bars.
Did you eat Almond Joy bars and things like that because you're afraid of what the cooks did to your food?
Yes.
Is that because of that you were in for the crimes that you were in for?
No, it was just in fact, I was
because you're wealthy?
Yes.
How did you know that?
Well, people would constantly come if I was passing by or have to go for my medical. People would either ask to borrow money or make some other types of comments about. In the beginning,
what were the comments? At the beginning, what were the comments?
It serves you rich guys right that you're here next to me.
There was nothing about your crimes.
No.
So all this rumor you hear all the time about people in prison that commit the type of crimes you commit, that's you're saying in your personal thing is not true.
No.
It was all because you.
That's wild. Hey, I agree. His expressions and body language. Has the behavior panel done this yet?
I don't know about the behavior panel, but I do know that Dr. G did one on Epstein.
Wow. Wow. So he does a quick, this is the same interview. They took a break and he come back with different glasses and a different shirt. And this part here is what Marie Antoinette was referring to. What is it? Just, I'm not watching that part, but what is 21:44 from, I guess 7 minutes. Okay. Because this is crazy. Like he knew what he was. He knew he was a pedo. And he was proud of it. Go and watch this whole episode. I'm telling you guys.
Break to freshen up his wardrobe.
When did you first start to get nervous? Understanding Bill Clinton and all this. Did you change glasses?
Yes.
Okay.
I changed shirt.
I saw that black. Yeah, great. I think we're gonna have all kinds of changes.
I'm experimenting. Okay.
When did you get a feeling? Did you ever anticipate before it happened, something like 2008 could happen?
No.
Bannon keeps coming back to the fact that Epstein, for all of his apparent knowledge of how the world works, he ended up in prison. Although I will say that his attorneys worked out what's been called that sweetheart deal with the then U.S. attorney in Miami, Alexander Acosta, which ended with Epstein avoiding serious federal charges, getting kind of a light sentence for the state charges. And throughout the interview, Bannon seems to kind of needle Epstein, referring to things like the Me Too movement and asking at one point, this was big, whether Epstein is the devil himself.
When you say ownership in the system, it doesn't mean.
Let's start over.
Okay.
Sorry. Your phone.
Yes. Yeah.
So maybe flip it down or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows what the is all about.
That's correct.
Which one has sent you?
KSA.
I can't not believe I've got the magic moment when you're in prison or jail, wherever.
It's crazy. Now, there's a funny part to that we missed, which is said.
Go ahead, tell us.
The funny part is just what you asked me.
Is there anything funnier than that?
No.
For black humor,
I don't make any black comments. Sorry. You asked me what I was wearing.
That's right. You're too wrapped up in the Me Too movement.
Yes.
Just ask a question. Is your money dirty money?
No, it's not. So, in fact,
why is it not dirty money?
Because I earned it. A heart.
But you earned it. We went back to this before. You earned it. You earned it advising the worst people in the world, right? That do enormous bad things, and just to make more money.
So, instead of asking me the question, should you take the money? Because I think it's a legitimate question.
You think it's a legitimate question?
Yes, no question. Because I think about it, I think ethics is always a complicated subject, but I can tell you that with the money I gave to help try to eradicate polio in Pakistan and India, instead of asking me whether that money should be given to these children for vaccines, I think you might want to ask their mothers who received the vaccine, who know their child now won't get polio, and ask them if Epstein should have helped these people with their money.
If we walked into you're a mathematician. We walked into that clinic, where they're giving that money out to these people that are in the most dire straits of poverty and sickness. It told them that the money was coming from a, what are you, class 3 sexual predator?
Tier 1.
Was tier 1's the highest and worst?
No, I'm
the lowest.
I'm the lowest.
You're the lowest. Okay, tier 1, you're the lowest.
We are going to finish this one out, but he does make, you guys, he does make a comment. Like, you just watch. Just watch. It's disturbing.
But a criminal.
Yes.
That the money came from. What percentage of people do you estimate? I understand you don't like probabilities. Do you estimate would say, I don't care, I want the money for my children?
I would say everyone said, I want the money for my children.
Did they know where the money came from?
If I think if you told them, I told them the devil,
100%.
the devil
himself.
The devil himself said, I'm going to exchange some dollars for your child's life.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
It's a serious question.
Sorry.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
Because you have all the attributes. You're incredibly smart. You remember the devil is somebody knows
smart?
The devil's brilliant. You read Milton's Paradise Lost.
No, the devil scares me.
Satan is at the number 1 or 2 archangel. And the reason he goes to hell and leads the rebellion is because he can't be the top guy. And his thing is, I'd rather reign in hell than serve in heaven.
I saw that in a movie once called American Dharma. I don't remember who said it. Okay? You have to go. Oh, good.
What a slimy, evil, manipulative doofus. Unbelievable. It's crazy. And then there are other episodes of Long Crime Network that show, like, he just reads through some of the emails. There's one where he kind of goes through all the names that are within the Epstein files. Like, I mean, just, it's wild. Some of the people who are connected to this stuff is just wild. So let me take this down, and I'm going to pull up a quick video about Prince Andrew, what went on today with that. And then I am probably going to end it because we've been live for 3 hours and 40 minutes. So I can pull this back up now. I don't know what this video, if I'm going to get an ad or anything like that, but it's only 2 minutes long. Then we'll hit chat for a few minutes, and then we'll be done for the day. So
On the floor.
Olay Hyaluronic Body Wash with 10 times more vitamin B3 complex.
Or leaning over an unidentified female. New photos reinforcing an old link between Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The images among more than 3 million documents released by the U.S. Department of Justice related to the disgraced financier. The former prince has always denied wrongdoing, but there are more new allegations being reported by BBC News.
We're talking about at least one woman who was sent by Jeffrey Epstein over to Prince Andrew, and she even, after a night with Prince Andrew, had a tour of Buckingham Palace.
CBC News has not independently verified those claims, coming from a lawyer representing the alleged victim. They have not been proven in court, but the latest developments are prompting the British government to call on Andrew and others to testify before the U.S. Congress.
The way that we can help those victims is for anybody who has any insight or information about what went on to come forward and testify.
Epstein survivors say the files haven't done enough to expose every enabler and every abuser.
There is not a single bit of closure. What I'd like to ask any of them in the Department of Justice is, what is this? This is a victim statement. The only thing that was supposed to be redacted was her name.
The DOJ says it redacted documents to avoid identifying victims or jeopardizing an active federal investigation. And in an interview with ABC News, the U.S. Deputy Attorney General said Democrats are welcome to come and see for themselves.
We have nothing to hide. We never did. And our doors are open if they want to come and review any of the materials that we produced.
He says the DOJ is not considering any additional charges related to Epstein, but survivors say they'll keep pushing for answers and justice. Jennifer Yoon, CBC News, Toronto.
Hopefully that doesn't just start playing randomly on its own.
On the floor, leaning over an unidentified female. New photos reinforcing.
All right. Yeah, so I'll put the link to this in the chat as well, so you guys can go check out the other videos and the article and stuff. So, oh, that's a long one. Not sure I'm going to be able to do that. It's probably going to come in two, but at least I tried. So, yeah, it came out in two. I don't know if I want to cover the Epstein files regularly, but if there's an interest meaning like going through the actual documents. So not just playing news stories here and there, like actually downloading the documents and going through the information together as a group. We could maybe do, yeah. So that probably just a small number of you might be interested in doing that with me. But if you're interested, let me know. Have absolutely no problem doing that between Jack and Lily and Nancy and anything else that comes up. Other than that, just looking really quickly. What a donkey. That's what I mean. Like his vernacular was just screamed low IQ. I know he's not, but president is named in the documents, you bet. He was out daily on a pass to go to work. He did have his work release program. Whatever that is, he was a smart negotiator with evil people. Hmm He even was able to travel into Canada during all this all. It's crazy. These creeps are sick and diabolical. Say that again. I'm not going to say that word. Guys, American Justice, she's so close. Please, if you haven't already, go over and give her a sub. It's free to do. He's made this underworld and proud of himself for its success. Absolutely. And now people are running with their tails between their legs because they continued to have contact and friendships with him after he was convicted. Stupidity. You can't play stupid after he's served time in jail. Ethics is a complicated subject, he said. All the things they will say to make it okay. And talk about pulling on your heartstrings. Well, I would ask the mothers, do they think I should spend the money to save their children from polio? Like, did he really just say that? And we need more rubber rooms. Good night. It goes global. Sure does. And some of the people that he was getting emails from, global leaders. Global leaders. And they have no shame, these people. They don't. They have money, they have ego, and they have sick, twisted predilections. Thank you, Tom, for being here. I appreciate you being here. Good night, Carla. You're interested? Perfect. That's all I need. Me and you, Snoop. Oh, and Gracious too. Perfect. Why not? Right? Instead of clicking around watching all this stuff, why not get the documents and go through them? I mean, I like a court document, you know. I realize this is like a million pages, but we got time. Kash Patel has and Pam Bondi redacted all of Trump's names and all the important people's names. And by the looks of that, if the only thing that was supposed to be redacted was the victim's name and that victim's statement, that speaks volumes to me that they are most definitely hiding information from the public. The docs hit hard when you see the actual horror and what has actually happened on that island. I can only imagine. Sarah coming in hot with the great tips. Thank you for the information, Sarah. National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Um, tip line for Nancy Guthrie. Absolutely, Jewel. I hope they check the restrooms in Nancy's house as long as they were in house. Maybe had to go, right? Or sweat, or yeah, you're right. Association is acceptance. It absolutely is, especially when you cannot deny knowing what that person has done. Yes, people need to know who was all involved in the Epstein case. You're interested too? Perfect. Beautiful. Have a good night, Shannon. Report and identify missing persons. Here's a link for you. Thank you again, Sarah, for all of your links and all my mods. You're awesome. Congratulations to the winners of the hoodies. I will get them shipped out by Monday. Perfect. I am glad that I finally caught up in chat. I happen to have somebody who is going to make those t-shirts for us, Sailor Moon. So, Melissa, please have the floor for a few closing thoughts.
So, as far as Epstein goes, it's not just one world leader. You've got multiple United States presidents. You've got people from the royal family. I mean, it's horrible what went on. And I feel for the victims. But when you get into certain cases, it's he said, she said. And unfortunately, in a lot of those, people who are in power positions will get away with it. And I hope this is not one of them. I think that, when somebody did it, and I'll bring this back to Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, Fergie emailed him, and this was after it had come out and after his conviction, or maybe before his conviction, but she knew of it, right? And she's still begging for money from this man. And so I don't feel bad for her. I don't feel bad for Andrew. You put yourself in that situation. The people I feel bad for is their children, right? And there are so many victims. When you throw a rock into a pond, you have the ripples. And this has very big and massive ripples, in my opinion. And I don't condone what happened. And I hope that if there is video proof or proof beyond a reasonable doubt, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Clinton. I don't care if it's Trump. I don't care if it's Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. I don't care who it is. I hope they bring them up on charges, because you have created a lot of victims, and those victims need justice. And I don't think saying, oh, he's chasing a girl around the kitchen, ever stop and think maybe she's running because she's terrified of him? And why is he in a bedroom, what looks like a bed, playing with a child? That is not okay, knowing what we know. So hopefully all of those who are involved get charges. Doesn't matter if they're rich and famous or powerful or not. When you create victims like that, and when you do things that he has done, and you continue to associate with a man like that, it shows your character. And that's really sad in a lot of these cases that I'm seeing. I mean, the one lady killed herself. I mean, why? Because she wasn't being believed, or she wasn't going to be believed. And that's horrible.
Yeah, I agree. The whole situation is disturbing, and the videos, even the redacted videos, are horrifying to see. Like the teddy bears, the small child, um, the paternity test there. There's rumors that he was trying to create babies for certain reasons. Like there's a whole rabbit hole there that we could get lost in if we allow ourselves to. But we're going to stay focused on what matters, the victims, raising awareness, making sure that these things don't go quiet. And having said that, minus 39 here today, folks. Just a side note, Melissa. So this morning I woke up, looked at the temperature, minus 39. I was like, holy shit. Because yesterday I put my grocery shopping off, thinking I'll just go tomorrow. So I had to go out. I went outside, started my car. Barely wanted to start. My heater motor wouldn't work. Awesome. So anyways, it's in getting fixed right now, $1,500, and I will be back on the road. But thankfully, Ian let me use his truck. I just have to go pick him up at 1 o'clock in the morning, so it's not so bad. But I hope everybody is staying warm and safe. No tornadoes for you, Melissa, and justice for Jack and Lily. We'll find Nancy Guthrie, and we'll get to the bottom of the Epstein files too, eventually. So, have a wonderful evening, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. And go support Melissa's channel. She does a lot of work behind the scenes. She's very few subs, like 4 subs away from 500. Let's help her get to that goal. Okay? Have a great night, everybody. Bye.